message. But hey, we are here now. Susan has landed. Kill the music. Now, now we are going to have some fun. I know we are because we always do. From India, I just got to I'm throwing this into you as it comes in. Paris, France. Abby here says hi from Paris, France.
Hi, Abby.
Dapper12345 says hello from India. Oh my goodness. Pat Coach is giving you props because you did great by joining. you figured out how to join me. Hey, wait. The first time you ever did an Instagram live was with who?
With you.
I just wanted to hear you say that. I just want to.
It was with you. And you know what? It was one of those times when I was absolutely crazed with like other stuff. And we didn't personally know you really. And so we said, okay, maybe you wrote such a lovely letter. And we said, we can give you 20 minutes.
Yep.
We stayed on for what,
almost 3 hours? Yeah.
3 hours?
Yeah. Almost 3 hours.
I had so much fun talking to you. And Lauren, my media director, loves you. She's like, oh my God, your vibes with this guy are so good. We love you, Paxton. Just so you know.
I have to tell you, oh, you're so sweet. You did that show, and I got so many messages. It actually went crazy. They said, you guys should do a series together. And I was still green. I know. Now you understand, I was still green. And so I was like,
you were great.
I know how to produce stuff, but I was like, I don't know if she's like out of my ballpark. It's like, I'm not going to stand against the wall when it's time to dance, but that girl over there I might stutter before I ask her to dance.
You are
kind of feeling I got.
Paxton, you have such a nice energy. You're such a nice man.
I appreciate it.
You're so easy to talk to. That's part of it. Whether you're dating or you're having if everybody had this kind of interaction in chatting online or a video conference with somebody, they would feel like they wanted the date because you make me feel comfortable to be with you. That's the gift. But it's really the truth. That's the gift. How do we feel in somebody's presence? And I liked you from day one, and I felt comfortable, and it was so easy to talk to you, and it was fun. So that's what's really special.
And I have to tell you,
this so we can put it on
you will be getting copies. Yes, you will be getting copies of this without a doubt. And I do have to tell you, that day, I was prepared for 20 minutes. But when we got to 21 minutes, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so happy, and it was almost similar to this. This is even more intense than when the first time you came on. I mean, it's still going. I'm looking at it. It's still scrolling. And it was so many people who wanted to talk to you. And there were so many questions. And at that time, I couldn't capture all the comments. Today, I can. With the equipment that I have now, I can capture everything and tell you who was who and what they said. And so then I was like, oh my, there's so many people that I left out. I felt so bad for a few days, but I was happy to be with you. So
we can't, like when I do the YouTube live, I can't catch everybody. I try my best. And then sometimes my poor moderators are, Anastasia is one of my moderators. We're looking at it. We can't find it. Somebody's asked a question. We keep scrolling through it. And then you see me going like this with my face in the camera. Like, this is really attractive. Like going like this.
You're like,
hang on, wait.
Yeah. I know the feeling. We're definitely agreeing with you on that. It's hard to capture that. Oh my goodness. There's just so many that have spoken to you. All right. Thank you very much, Veronica. I see what you say there. Yes, indeed. Great vibes for us here. Can we ask questions? That's Cindy. Cindy, yes, you may. Now, what we're going to do this time that Susan here has, as it were, come back to visit us here home, is like I like to call it, because so many people wanted you back since last year. What we're going to do, if you have a question, feel free to put it in the question section, as some of you have started to do. I will make sure to get to those. The first thing that I will do is pull from the questions that were sent in first. Now, we have people that have sent in questions, and I will be tossing those to Susan, and Susan will be taking care of that. Susan gets to do exactly what she deserves to have happen to her, be treated as the diva of the day, especially here on Narc Abuse TV Network. I will be fielding everything to her. She will be answering it. Is the dog there? Yeah.
Yeah, she's sleeping underneath. Okay. She's so she thinks she's the diva. So Nika, I'm the diva. You got that?
We're gonna have a little challenge on that today because you're the diva for the day. And what we're gonna do is questions that were sent in. We're going to give a nice mix and balance. I'm going to go across the board doing that for Susan, and enough time for you to respond back to her, if at all possible. We're going to do what we can, and if for some reason or another we need to go longer, keep this in mind. Susan will be doing 2 more events with us. We'll be talking more about that later, but the whole point of it is for you to be able to contact and connect with her, and she can actually hands-on deal with you to the best of our ability today. All right, so I need to get to it.
Okay.
First of all, first question literally is connected to a posting that you had. When they asked the question, I wanted to go like see her video on YouTube. I really wanted to, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. Let's just save it for the show.
Okay.
The question was, I'm a great woman. I'm going to I'm going to edit this and shrink wrap this question. I'm a great woman. She's saying that she has a lot to offer, but she doesn't want to come across desperate, looking for a partner for life. She doesn't want to come across looking desperate. How can I, as a businesswoman in the corporate world, she's saying, get a partner or get a husband without coming across desperate?
We just did, well, thank you for that. We just did a whole live show on that. I think that was the last live show I did on YouTube. So here's my question. If you know you're great, why would you feel desperate?
Great point.
They're incongruous. You know what I mean? I would feel desperate if I thought I had a malady, I had some pre-existing condition that made me like immobile. I felt inadequate. But if you feel confident in one tier of your career or your life, what do they call it? The quadrants of life. You've got health, you've got family and personal relationships, you've got your success, you've got all these things. So I think I would take desperate out of the equation. Interested, yes. And for professional women, oftentimes they are alpha all day in the office and have not learned how to shift gears and be open and receptive to men and give men the green light to let them know that it's okay to approach them. Because a lot of guys that I know want to approach a powerful woman, but they're scared. And we have to allow them to feel comfortable to approach us by either smiling or having an energy that says, I'm interested in talking to you. So I'm really having a hard time why a woman with so much success and confidence feels desperate. Is
it possible that she's looking at her responsibility and success as a thing that's holding her back? I don't understand either. Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing I can think of.
It's a positive, isn't it?
Well, I think it is, but there might be some men who have said that they're intimidated by her.
Got it.
So that seems to be the normal thing that the powerful women come up against, that guys want to, and they start to see that men walk away from them or start to get involved and pull back. They start to think, the woman starts to think there's something inherently wrong with me. I'm unwanted. She starts to lose her confidence and her mojo. All the time it's the guy who doesn't feel he has enough to offer her, especially if she has a higher position and she makes more money. They're like, why would she want me? So I can't. He's not the guy for her then, if that's the case. We need a second comment from her to clarify all this. And I thank you for that. But
yes, and feel free. You know who you are. You mentioned you don't want you want to remain anonymous. Understandably, feel free to mention anything to us if you're here or for the next show. I got to read one off the screen over here that was sent in to me from I believe one of your subscribers on your YouTube channel, Ocean _9025. Her name
Love
is
you, darling. I know
Louisa.
who this is.
Okay, all right.
I know.
So you know it. She says, "Dear Susan, I have a question about anger management and resentment towards your partner, and he is an unequally giver. He's a taker. It's a taker relationship, is what she said. How to avoid unnecessary pain and hurt feelings for both? Anger management toward him being an unequal giver, and he's a taker in the relationship, is what she's asking."
I understand this entire dynamic because we work together as client and coach. Um, on one level, he wants what he thinks he deserves in this relationship. On the other level, you've been exceedingly clear as to what you're capable of offering. So, this anger that you're feeling after these years of this, I want more, give me more.
Yeah.
It can be very irritating. I think in your case, he, we talked about this before. Sometimes, in order to pacify somebody, you're going to have to give them some attention that fills them up, and
Mm.
they will be less clingy, needy, and you won't be as angry. But in your situation, it is what it is, and there are very, very clear benefits to you. And I have to speak in code because this is kind of a private
Of course.
conversation. It's kind
Of
of
course.
public. There are
Without a doubt.
times that we find ourselves involved with somebody, and the reasons for that involvement may supersede pure love.
Mm.
And there is an arrangement that has been negotiated in the beginning, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
I want you as the mother of my children, you're basically a
Uh,
roommate, I'm not in love
got
with
it.
you, and I'll have
Right,
dalliances on
right.
the side. Or
Yeah.
if it's look at I need a companion, and I know that you're not in love with me, but this is what we're going to do. So when people start to demand anything outside of the original agreement, we feel pressure because that's not
Uh,
what we signed up for. And
got
in
it.
this case, there was a specific agreement as to what each person would expect from each other. And her partner has violated that and is now
Got it.
pressing, to
Mm-hmm.
which she was exceedingly clear in the beginning as to what she could provide and what she was not able to provide.
Mm-hmm.
In time, all things change, and you will have greater mobility and you will have greater access to other options. My remedy for a short-term fix for this person is to, for yourself and for him to supply the love and the warmth in areas that feel comfortable for you, that
Mm-hmm.
are in agreement with your disposition and how you truly feel,
Mm-hmm.
little things that show appreciation on a human level. The little cards, maybe make him some tea, show him
Right.
the concern as a human being. That
You got it.
oftentimes it's just the lack of recognition. Anytime we're in a relationship and we don't feel like a priority, we get cranky and bitchy. And we
Yeah.
push or we pull or
Hmm.
we manipulate or we do
Male or
whatever.
female, right? What you're saying is
Yeah,
male or female. This is not just like a woman does this. A guy will do the same, correct?
anybody does it,
Yeah.
So they get cranky, and so sometimes if you can't extricate yourself, the goal is what can I provide that doesn't cost me, that I can easily do without anger and without resentment, to pacify them and to
Yeah.
acknowledge that I see them as a human being and I admire, respect,
Yeah.
like them. For your survival, it's to get.
It's really her looking to see, and we're using ocean as an example here because everyone's situation is different. But
Yes.
you're essentially saying approach it from a human standpoint. Start with that first, and then work your way to what's comfortable. Because what was talked about at the beginning, somebody's feeling they're not getting the same deal anymore, and somebody's getting frustrated.
There are times that we no longer feel romantically toward our
Uh,
partner, but
uh
we are in an extenuating circumstance where we are locked in for a period of time, whether it's because we're trying to divorce and there are children, whatever, and they are just aggravating the hell out of us. So if we can be compassionate on a human level, not sexual, not romantic,
right. Correct. Right. Right.
sometimes just to be thoughtful on a human level, that will satiate the person that feels so neglected because they really wanted this, but you're giving them something. So it's
Right.
a halfway point. I hope that
Right.
helps.
That was a beautiful way to say that. We hope that works for you, Ocean. Feel free to comment some more. She did mention that I am the taker and he is the giver.
I know. So give a little more,
I know
honey.
you know that. I just
Give
wanted to say, yeah,
give a little
yeah,
bit more. You're getting a lot, but I know
yeah,
the pressure you're under. Give on a human level. We've talked about this before.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What I was going to mention to you is that Brooklyn Tanner, 1982. says, in regards to the viewer that mentioned about being desperate, this is the comment they mentioned. They said he's turned off by her masculine energy. It's
This
very
is a
possible.
huge conversation. So we have two camps. We
Okay.
have the kind of straight ahead, tell people who you are and be very forthright, and that more aligns with where I come from. To be
Mm.
authentic and be yourself, and
Yeah.
if they resonate
Hmm.
with it, fine, and if they don't,
If
fine.
they
But at
don't,
least they
yeah.
get a very clear read of what you are and what you have to
Right.
offer. But you are open. Then there is the feminine energy camp, which is very lean back, and it very much demands that the man make all the moves. And so that is oftentimes a corrective measure that some ladies want to explore if they feel that they are way too in their alpha. And the only thing that does, I mean, you can't, let me backtrack. It's a burden for women. And I want guys to understand this.
Okay.
It has been a burden. We used to be pursued. You guys aren't, most men aren't pursuing anymore. And the ones that are creepy. So, you and I remember, Paxton, the day of courtship. I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
I
I
have the
didn't know I
luxury.
didn't know what the word date was. I thought it was,
Yeah.
a date is what you put on a calendar.
I,
Like,
I when I use
but
the
you,
word,
like a girl, you start courting, man. And
yeah.
court means you're gonna finish this by not just the ring on the way leads up to the kiss and tell it in front of all your friends, I do. So it wasn't like we leaving each other. I'm locked
So
in, and there's
I
nobody else for me.
that you and I know that when you pursue a certain person, it is
Yep.
for these old school things that people
Yeah.
think are a fairy tale now, like a monogamous
Yeah.
relationship that
Yeah.
has a label that
It
is
has a
going
label. You know
somewhere.
what it is. Yeah. Right.
Now, but in the entire evolution of women and the change in history and us being able to break the glass ceiling, I remember the 80s. So many of us, women didn't help you. You think the women help you? Oh no, they broke the glass ceiling and said you're on your own. I had to do it all on my own. Now they're much more
Uh,
collaborative, right?
yeah.
So women have been taught to compete with each other, and then a
Yeah.
woman has to go to work,
Absolutely.
and oftentimes where she works, she's got to be better than the men around her, and she has to be tougher to offset the fact that she's a woman, which inherently has this stigma of weak, getting over.
Week. Yep.
So she's
Yep.
so she's got to put on her big girl pants every day and maybe
Yeah.
even posture a little bit. So the
Mhm.
minute she walks in the door to see you, it's a hard click for
To
her
switch
to
it off.
shift
Yeah.
to shift off and be soft and submissive. And I mean submissive, and I don't mean like, oh, you can have
No,
your
no.
way with me, but to
Cooperative,
activate.
to
Yeah,
assist, to work as a team, because she has to go out and, well, as many men have, she's now got to go out and kick some doors down and fire a few people, or deal with
exactly.
not just men but also women who are nipping at her heels or also trying to fight with her as well. And then she's got to turn that off, is what you're saying.
Yes, and a lot of guys that I know that I work with tell me that they just can't talk. They can't, they can't have an opinion. She's barking at them, and that they're not an employee, and that some women do not know how to turn it off because this is how they've been programmed to be, and they don't
Yeah.
know how to be one way at work and another way at home. So we are guessing. We don't know that she's in her masculine energy. We know that she's successful. It is a possibility.
Yeah.
And when we answer questions like this, Paxton, we do our best to read through 500 sentences that we would like to have
Yeah.
that we don't.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I try to shoot it from every angle possible because the pertinent questions I want to ask are not included.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
we're doing our best.
And essentially, that's what we're doing when we put on a show like this. It
Yeah.
gives everyone here, if you see me looking off to the screen your first time here, it's because I have monitors here that I can look at all in front of me. Um, I can I can tell you this: Susan is giving you an overview of how to react to a given situation that you may be in. But the questions just keep rolling in as you're talking, which is great. Everybody, please don't give up. Keep putting the questions up there. Again, first time you're coming through, feel free to put a name in if you feel emotionally safe to do so. Make up a fake name. Everybody can be John Doe or Jane Doe with me. That's fine. But whatever it is, put your question in. We're going to do our best. We've gone 27 minutes. I see the questions here in front of me on one screen, as well as the ones in the comments, and we have a few more over here and down in front of me. We're gonna go ahead and have some fun, but I need to tell you, you talked to Ocean, and Ocean said, haha, thank you, Susan. Always. She's letting you know that she appreciated what you said. So
She
it
is
didn't
such
get
a doll.
it
I
didn't
have
get
had,
lost.
I love this woman. You know, there are times that I get to meet my fans and meet my
Yeah.
clients. And the amount of love I feel for them and that I get from them, and she is one of
Yeah.
them. I mean, it's just astounding. And I consider myself so lucky to have the people that I work with. I work with some amazing people. I've had my crazies. We all do.
I don't even
When I
yeah.
get, you know, I don't filter. Like I do the one thing nobody does. I still do one-on-one, and nobody in my business does it because
No, they don't.
it's
They don't.
not effective for time or money. But I deal with
Yeah.
people and I'm like, oh my God, I want to know you. And then other people are like, I never know when I answer either a Skype call or a phone call. It's like being in the emergency room. I don't know, am I getting a gunshot wound? Am I getting a sliver? Am I getting somebody out of their mind? I don't know. And that makes it fun for me. I
Sorry.
really don't
That
know.
actually is a great analogy that's running through my little small head right now. That is too funny. It's like an emergency. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I never know what I'm
That
going to
kind of
get.
sounds like my live chats. I actually I put them on, and the things that I see that my guests never get to read. I have to read this to you. Melly Barb says
That's my baby.
it says Susan is 100, the diva with two
Oh,
hearts.
oh,
And
my
then
baby doll.
Nika sends you some love, and a B for boat sends you some love, two hearts, and they say Susan,
She's one of my
love.
moderators too on YouTube. She's
Yeah, you
lovely.
got a lot of love. Okay, I've got to read a lot to you here, and don't forget, everyone, please keep putting questions if you're comfortable in the question section on the IGTV Live or the live format on your screen with the little question mark, or you can type it out. I can scroll and read it. It won't get lost, even if you don't see it on the screen and it goes by. I can pull it back up with what we're doing over here. So go ahead and put it in. Don't think it's lost. What I was going to read to you is some more off the screen, and then we're going to get to a question that people are submitting over here. Mystic mentions that I forgot to submit a question. Feel free to go ahead and put it in the comments here now. No loss, no worries. We'll get to it. All right, next question off the screen here in the comments. Love Miriam Love, if I said that correctly, says, I'm 9 weeks pregnant and single, and I can't help but worry about the future of dating as a single mom, especially considering dating apps, is what she's saying. Do I post a picture of me and my kid? What if a man asks if, essentially, if she has children?
You are currently pregnant as a single woman and you've chosen to keep your child. Okay? So that proves to me that you want the child more than you want the partner. And that's an
Mm-hmm.
important consideration. If you had to choose just one, listen, everybody would like the package deal. Most people would. And I ask a
Right.
lot of women this that are trying to get pregnant, that want
Mm-hmm.
to find the right guy. The pressure they feel
Mm-hmm.
to find the guy, get married, get him on track, and have a baby within that biological clock time period. And I've counseled a lot of women, and I've either suggested that they freeze their eggs or do something like that, or that they ask themselves the most pertinent question. If I could only have, what is the one thing I cannot live without? Is it that I can't live without the child, or I can't live without a partner? I know the preference would be both, but if I had to choose,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to me by your telling us that you're single and 9 weeks pregnant, that you have obviously made your choice. It is the child. So
Mm-hmm.
now you must go forward in confidence that the right man who will be having access to your life and your child's life will be somebody who wants to be there. Okay?
Right.
Because
Mm-hmm.
there are men who want to
That's true.
be, they want
That's
the
absolutely
turnkey
correct.
lifestyle with kids,
Yes,
and they didn't
that's
have them.
absolutely true.
There are
Yeah,
women who
yeah,
who never had children that couldn't wait for a turnkey lifestyle with
that
stepkids.
is true. That is absolutely correct. Yes.
So please, I wouldn't hide it from anyone because you want to know from day one. This isn't something you know, if you're on dating apps and you show up, like this, they're going to know. So this old notion about, oh, men don't want another guy's child. Some don't. And you don't want those men who feel that way. Right? So you made a choice, get behind yourself, believe in yourself, get into an agreement with your choice, get on 100% on board with what you have
Yeah.
chosen to do and believe in it and go look for the right man that thinks the same way as you do.
Yeah.
Okay?
I love what you've just said there because it's really a matter of preparing the package before the deal.
Yes.
Get the package ready, which is you first, then the child,
Yes.
and become a team so
Yeah.
that another team player will find you and go like, hey, I'm joining
Yes.
this team. And you know
Yeah.
what? Hey, it's not like you need a captain, but we can be
Yes.
co-captains. It's like that is just my perspective. I'm not the
That's
expert. You
perfect.
are. You are. I'm just saying from a guy standpoint, a guy, because there are guys. You're absolutely correct. I've known many, and if women could hear the conversations that guys will have, one guy will go like, man, I will never do that, man. I'm not stepping into a ready-made family. That's for him. And then there are other guys that go like, why not? That's a piece of cake. If Because most guys that are like that are team players. And when you talk to guys that actually will take on someone else's child per se and make it their own, speaking of my dad, because he did it, so,
Oh,
and adopted
Austin.
my brother, because you could never say he was your half brother. My father would have beat us to death if we would have said
Oh,
that. He goes, that's your brother. And we never knew different because he was a team player. My father was. So therefore, that's what you're saying. It's out
yeah.
there, but focus on the package, focus on the team.
I
That's what my mom
love
did.
that.
She said, make
Paxton,
sure we have
beautiful.
a package. And if this guy fits, then he fits. It's not we adapt to him. He's got to adapt to us.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And,
I
I'm
love
looking
that.
at, some other things that are here. Are you ready? Okay. This
Yeah.
is like emergency. Now I got emergency in my room. It's like we got a cut here that's just pulled in, a gunshot that just pulled in. So here we go. Tried to send my question. This is coming from Danny Girl 1970, but it didn't go through. How many bald with a male friend who is the player? Lost me there. I've known this, and I guess the guy's a player is what she's essentially saying. But this is what she's asking. She found herself starting to fall for him because he was giving her attention, physical attention, and giving her confidence. Is it unrealistic? This is the question part. Is it unrealistic to want to have the same kind of attention before he acquired my affection? So he has snatched her affection and given her confidence and given her attention. But she recognizes, and this is, I'm going to say this, he's a scrub. Because that's what I say on this. That's
So
what I
he
say on.
means he's a scrub.
I
Okay.
say that on this show. It's a
Okay.
song by TLC.
I know I've heard it, but
So
I
okay.
didn't know what it
So
meant.
that's essentially the way I say it on my show here. He's a
Yeah.
scrub. In other words, he's got a hidden agenda and it's not good. She's asking, is it unrealistic to want the same kind of attention again from him since he's acquired her affection? Essentially, he's wooed her or seduced her.
Yeah. This is a specialty area of mine.
I
I
didn't want to
dated
say it. That's why I
I
picked this question out of the
I
comments.
dated players on purpose as a relationship girl with a very conservative sexual background where I had very, very few partners, like still single digit partners. So this was immensely difficult for me, but I was far more curious than I was frightened because I had to get this information because I had nothing to tell the rest of you. What am I going to say to you? Like,
Mhm.
I had nothing to say. So here's how it goes with a player or somebody who's keeping us stable. The first light that shines on you, the attention, the compliments,
Yep.
they flood you with everything they've got. I mean, the light is so bright and it's so warm and it is so intoxicating. And
Yeah.
you kind of know that it's way over the top, but you're just loving the drugs that are going loose in your body. Okay.
Your feet are not on the ground.
Yes. Now, that is to get you in the gate.
Yep.
You will never have that replicated again. That is Susan
Ever.
theory. It
Ever.
is the way. It is the number one thing. They maybe take you out to dinner. You'll never have
Yep.
them take you out to
Never have
dinner
it.
again.
Never.
It's just to get you in the gate, and then once they've had you physically, And
Yep.
then once they know they've got your heart and they've snatched you,
Yep.
then they start to put you in the stable, maybe keep you on a light simmer so they can
Yep.
access you when they need to. You will
Absolutely.
never get that level of attention again. It is not a question of your worth. It is not a question of your beauty. It is not a question of your value as an individual. It is how they play. And you cannot change the stripes of this kind of animal. And
Nope.
every girl who hangs on to that rough ride of hot and cold and hot and cold will tell you that she did so because she just kept thinking that if he just had more time to get to know me, he'd fall in
Yeah.
love with me. And maybe, and he's been hurt, and he had a rough childhood, and they'll make up all these excuses for their addictive gambling on this
Yes.
love
Yeah.
that is a
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't get better. So if you want to play the player, the only way is to say it like it is and to know that he is what he is. You cannot change that.
Yeah.
If you
Nope.
participate in the ride, you do so
Yep.
willingly. You know the end of the story as you go in. You see him if you're capable of seeing him and handling it. If not, you cut the cord. You tell him why. You tell him what he is. You cut the cord. He is adept at getting it back. The seduction to get you back will bring you right back in, but it's going to be the same story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So that's
Yeah.
it.
Whatever,
You're
whatever
not going to
steak,
get it twice.
whatever steak you got at the beginning, trust me, you're getting fast food after that, and
Yeah,
you're going
you
to be
will
put on the
never get
shelf.
it twice.
You're
Right.
going to be put on the shelf. And as it has often come clear about women, women are indeed a gift. They need to be unwrapped, not put on a shelf.
Oh,
Women are a gift. My
that's so
dad said, I learned
nice.
that from my dad. Women are a gift, and you unwrap them every day, every minute,
Oh,
every other hour. Whatever you get 1 hour, you won't get that 2 hours from now, and it's okay. But when a player comes around, he's technically gambling himself. He's going to do what he knows works, and if it works, it gets him what he wants. He moves on.
yep.
Unfortunately, as in this case, she mentioned he appealed to her mind and her heart, and that's how the addiction begins. And then they win because they keep coming back to they drain you of all your resources, emotionally, mentally, and more.
And the
Um,
name of your show is Narc Abuse TV.
I tried to, yeah, I was going to leave, but yeah,
I mean, that
technically,
is kind of,
if we, yeah, very, very self-centered, self-absorbed, and the last thing you want is that kind of person when you don't feel well or if you get injured and need to be taken care of, they're out. They're not going to be there for you. Yeah. And matter of fact, I have to say this to Dapper one underscore 12345. You mentioned that you put a question in days before. Do me a huge favor, please go to Narc Abuse TV, go to my Instagram page. People are doing it actually right now. Some are actually writing me or sending me something. So feel free to DM me during the show if possible. Even if you have to leave the live, put the question in and come back, or while you're here, put it in the section here in front of me. I'm going to pull a question. You got two of them. No, you got three. It just went up. You got three right here in front of me. Cindy Muaz, I see your question, and others that are here that are putting in the questions in the comment section. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm going to go over here for a moment. Let's see here. I'm going to read this to you. Hi, who and when should make, okay, I see what they're saying. So this is from Amir Moa. I guess I'm saying that right there. She's telling this to you, Susan. Who should make the first move? Who and when should make the first move when you like somebody?
this is generational and it's changed a lot. In my time period, men made the first move. And in the millennial culture, men were taught by many dating coaches not to make the first move and to allow the woman to pursue. I think if you want that person to make a move, the first thing you should do is do what I say is like open the door, show them that you're interested. You've got to give them a green light, make eye
Yeah.
contact, smile, make it easy for them.
Yeah.
If they still don't get it and you think they're exceedingly shy, just go up and
Yeah.
start talking to them.
Yeah.
Human being to human being.
Yes.
Where we get pressure is when we start to think of them as a romantic person. That's when we get all bogged down. So listen, I see a cute guy in the gym. I look at him. I start talking to him. I find a way to chat him up. I know myself. I can't help it. Yeah, so, and
Yeah.
then we start talking. And then I let
Mm-hmm.
it go. And if he keeps talking to me again, then I know, something happened. But
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to open the door. Like I say,
Yeah.
okay, we open the door, we do not drag them through it. This
Yeah.
way, we've done our
Yeah.
job, right?
Yeah.
It could be either way.
If you got to drag him through it, trust me, there's a problem with him. There's a problem with him, but it's a signal that you're coming across a little too desperate. But you made a very valid point there, approaching it just from a human standpoint. If you just want to have a conversation, but you
Yeah,
said something very valuable. I'm saying it from a male's perspective. If he keeps talking to you, okay, and that's different if he's talking to you about video games and and he's just talking about the Lakers or some sports team. That's a little different. Maybe he's just talking to you because he's got a bunch of sisters. But if he's talking to you and he's trying to find a way to keep the conversation going and it's not weird, there's a pretty good chance you just got into his gray space in his brain. And most guys know what I'm talking about when I say gray space, because I hate to say that it's the code between guys, but a lot of guys know if she's in your head, you're done for. You can't watch TV. If you're working with a hammer, you're going to hit your finger, and every guy around you is going to know something's wrong, because the guys are going to go like, what's wrong with you? And you go, oh, nothing. Yeah. Okay. Who is she?
Okay,
It's like,
so
who is she?
Paxton,
Yeah.
you're a man. I'm going to ask you for the women watching.
All right. Now, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Okay. Go ahead. I don't do interviews.
How
So
does a woman get into a guy's head?
that we can discuss in the second show.
Ah!
because no, I've actually discussed that at least 5 or 6 times on my network, because I have daughters. I've trained them to know what that is. When you get into a man's head as a female, there is nothing. It is very hard for him to get you out of his head. It is everything, forget songs, every meal will be about you. Everything. Because men, I just touched on this a couple of shows ago with Amy and her friend Nick. When a woman gets into a man's head, and I'll just say this, and then we'll get back to our questions here. The way you will know you're there is not because he's always reaching out to you. It's every time he sees you, he can't speak. If you're able to see him, forget electronics. If you're anywhere in his vicinity, he's off. Now, other guys totally can pick it up. Most seasoned women, especially married women, or any woman who's been around men enough or have brothers, when a man, and that's all he can do, he will subconsciously have everything to do with that person in some kind of way, even if she's 3,000 miles away.
Okay.
He will leave breadcrumbs to everyone around him. He's thinking about her. And he knows he knows he's doing it, and he tries to fix it and cover it up like he's not. That's when it's really bad, because he's really telling on himself. And if anybody's just watching their brother or this guy that you work with or whatever, and you want to know whether he's thinking about you all the time, trust me, if he gets around you, he's not going to be talking like this. If he gets around you and he's stuttering, that's the first sign. If he has to clear his throat, if he tries to look at you, but he keeps looking away, it's just all of these things that a man will do. We could do an entire show on it. I've never done it. I've never actually, you and I have never discussed this. I've discussed it with a few guys that I've had, but I'll tell you this, I can't get a guy to come on the show and talk about it, because most guys don't want to talk about it. Because if they do it, a woman will recognize,
then
I got him.
recognize it.
I totally got him. And it's now how she gets in there is a show in itself, because it's really simple. It's very easy to get to a man, because a woman just needs to remember one fundamental thing. Our emotions run deeper than yours. That's all you have to remember. If you can tap into our emotions and what we feel about different things, preferably 3 different things, I'm not going to say what they are right now, but if you can tap into 3 fundamental things into a man, he's done. But he doesn't give it up. First of all, he don't give it up. You got to work for it. You got to get it. He doesn't give it up. He hides it. And you can tell what it is he's hiding. There's a way to know. And this part, what I just mentioned, I haven't told my daughter's going to hear this back and are watching.
No,
I will tell that part to them, but there's a way to know.
it's now the Paxton show.
No,
I
no,
want
it's not.
everybody
No,
to
no,
write
no,
him.
no, 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 no. I have tried for almost a year to get men to come on because men know. Don't get me wrong now. This is not like I'm just saying this. This is locker room conversation. This is, hey, let's go get some ribs, talk. Let's just go grab a steak and talk. You will not have this conversation unless my father did it. Me and my brothers. He told us. But most men, and I found when my father told me, I asked my friends, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, we talk about it." And go, "Oh, yeah, wait, my wife's coming. My wife's coming. Be quiet." And I would go like, "That's just weird," because in my house we talked about it. It's like my sisters know. It's like it was common knowledge. This is the way you keep a man. And you stay in his head. And when a man is not going to stay with that woman or not interested in her anymore, it's because another woman has got into his head. And believe me, you can always tell when another woman's in his head, and if you're with a man, if that man is yours and another woman it could be his mother. You can, if somebody has a mother-in-law, you can tell when your mother-in-law's in his head. Come on now. It's the same principle. You can tell because you're going like, you went over to your mom's first before you came home. It's kind of like, hey, I saw this and I was thinking of my mom. Hey, he'll do the same thing anytime a woman is in his head, including a coworker. Anyhow, what am I doing? We're doing a whole other thing here. We're just doing this. So we're talking here. What he says, narc abuse is spilling tea. Laugh out loud. This is good to know. I really, you know what we should do? We should do it the next segment. I should send you some of the pointers that my dad and my older brothers passed on. And we just lived by it. We just thought everybody else knew this too. And then I kept meeting people and they were going like, how do you get a man that I was going like, it's really simple. You do this, you talk about this, you talk about this, and you talk about that. And if he doesn't respond back, trust me, walk away from him because he's playing game. Because it's like pressure points on a man. And if a woman knows those pressure points and she just does it to every man, she's going to be sitting there going like, why is that guy keep staring at me? Because you had that conversation with him. You hit that pressure point. And most women, I'm just surprised. There are women, I've had other coaches and different people I've talked to, they know about one or two of the pressure points, but they don't know all three. If you know all three and you're a female and a guy's in the room, that's why you look at these movies, these black and white movies, and Audrey Hepburn and different people. You look at Spencer Tracy and what's her name? I can't think of her name right now.
Catherine
Catherine,
Hepburn?
Catherine Hepburn. Catherine Hepburn knew the buttons. You watch them two together when they're the Humphrey Bogart and we were just talking about Lauren Bacall. Lauren Bacall had and so when guys watch it, I'm doing it right now. I think of them right now. I get like goosebumps. You know how as a woman you can go like the sweats and you get kind of warm when you think about certain guys. Guys get that, but it's not. We don't get warm. We get these little goosebumps that happen up here in the head.
Wow. And
so a lot of women don't know that. And, guys know it. Guys that are watching this right now, trust me, if they were honest, they would probably want me to shut up right now.
They certainly would.
Because when a woman does that to a man, watch Spencer Tracy, watch Humphrey Bogart.
Okay.
Watch Jimmy Stewart when he's with Katharine Hepburn. I think it's in the movie Philadelphia. It's there. It's plain as day. Gene Kelly when he's with, I can't think of her name right now. Fred Astaire with Ginger Rogers. Okay. You can tell, guys can tell it. We just don't say it because it makes us a little uncomfortable because it's getting to something that makes us exactly like women. That's why you see the man carrying the woman's purse when they're like 70, 80 years old because she got in his head. She didn't make him do it, but he knows where his bread is buttered. He goes like, I talked to her.
That or he just doesn't want to fight
I take that back. She nagged me. She nagged me to do it. Okay, I don't listen.
Just as many guys do, sitting in the passenger seat because they don't want to drive and be told why they're doing it wrong.
Or she's in his head and convinced him he is the worst driver on the planet, and he loves her so much. Or as I'll just say this, as my grandfather would say, he loves them ankles. That's what my grandfather used to say. He says he loves them ankles. And I was a little kid. I would go like, that makes no sense. But as I got older, I knew what that meant because I'm a guy.
Okay.
He loves it. He loves them ankles. He like looking at them ankles. He like he like looking. He go like, baby, here are the keys. Here's a new car too.
Okay.
Just keep driving. So she has him wrapped around her ankles, as it were. It's
Okay.
really. I gave out information now that my that my daughters are gonna go like, Dad, I can't believe you said that. Okay. Wild Zeppelin says, love Bogey and Bacall together. I tell you, you watch it. Watch what that woman does to him, and it's not acting. They have a chemistry before they
Yeah.
say action. And
Yep.
she generated that chemistry.
Yep.
That's the key. If the man is generating the energy, that's a problem. He can
Wow.
provide, protect, and guide, but he is not to be generating a romantic energy. That's the woman to do that. And if he lets it roll in, he ain't going nowhere. He not going. He knows where his bread is buttered. He go like,
Wow.
there's nobody but her. And he will let you know that in so many different ways. I'm sorry, you guys. How did we let that happen? I don't know.
Because no matter who's giving the information, it's good stuff. When
Yes, thank you for
we
saying.
can repeat everything everybody's heard, or we can come at things from a different angle that people haven't heard that they need to hear. I constantly
Yeah,
like to do videos and have conversations on the stuff that people don't talk about.
yeah,
Because if
without a
they,
doubt.
we know the pat conversations, like have the same values and, show up and make an effort and blah, 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 and have some
Yep,
humor in your profile.
absolutely.
But the stuff that goes on is much more like it's more finessed. And so sometimes discussing those little specific points that people don't understand or they've never taken time to break down is really where the gold is.
And what's interesting is we know where we're going with this show, and we know today is an overview. So there are many of you
Yep.
who are here and may not know exactly what our plans are in the future. Thank you, Wild.
Big plans.
Thank you. Yes, big plans.
Big
So,
plans.
so many of you have put your questions in a number of things. They will get answered. We wanted to, as really, this was honestly, I'll be honest, this was your idea because I was saying we're going to do this, and you said no, let's do the two lives before we do the next thing. Well,
Yep.
we'll
Yep.
let you
Right.
all know
The
that. Just
warm
keep
ups.
watching. Yeah, just
The
this is a
warm
warm
ups.
up. This is a warm up. So many of you may have questions first time meeting her, and you may say to yourself, wow, Paxton, let her speak. But in actuality, we know between the both of us, as you just said, uh, whichever way the information comes out, it's going to be helpful. But we are a team, giving you an overview of something that is coming. So
Yep.
you will be able to mark your calendar, and it is coming. What I do want to say is that, oh, you're welcome. Everybody's so kind, telling me and yourself, thank you for what we're talking about and
Oh, good.
and talking about getting into a man's head. Go ahead and put your questions in. We are actually collecting your questions as well, even if they don't get answered today, for a much bigger show that we're going to do. So don't get disheartened and think that Paxton's going to do all the talking. This is all this is all choreographed and scripted. But
There you
here we go.
go.
Here we go. Are you ready? The guy I'm seeing is taking longer time to text me back. He will still hang out with me when I ask him out, but on these days, but he can take back up to 1 day. I'm doing my best to read everybody's
Yeah,
writing here.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
can take up to 1 day to text me back. Is he losing interest? That's from Aaron Speak.
So, Aaron, a couple of questions I would ask you. I imagine that you're being physical with him. If you're having sex and you notice that he was active and communicating a lot, and now the communication is backing down, of course, this is disconcerting and you're feeling uncomfortable about it. Now it makes you wonder, is he
Hmm.
less interested? Um, I think I heard you say, Paxton, when I ask him out. Is that correct? That she's doing the
Correct.
asking?
That's from what I got there. Yeah.
Yeah. So if now the only time you see him is when you engage and you request it, and there's a lag in communication, he's getting lazy. And somehow I think you might be devaluing yourself. This is not to
Absolutely.
have you now play game and like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to see you, because distancing does not make closeness. But it is for you to consider, maybe to go back to the drawing board and take a look at your behavior and take a look at your actions ask yourself if, even if you ask him out, which is fine, are you like desperate and clingy? Do you want more from him? And are you
Yeah.
hoping that the
Right.
more you give, the more he's going to respond? Because sometimes when we overgive to a man,
There you go.
uh, he just stops working. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, she's giving.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Yep. Yeah. No,
I'm
you're
talking to the
absolutely
guy
correct.
here.
No, you're absolutely correct. Which is essentially the benefit of us working together and doing this, because I'm not shy to put in my perspective, and you allow me to do so. But I'm telling you, you are spot on. If you And overgiving can be confusing for some women. What is overgiving?
Yeah.
I could tell you that when we get to show number 2.
See,
Over
I like to be
Overgiving
very.
is,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, it, you know, it, I wanted to hear what you had to say, but it is a give and take in the relationship.
Absolutely.
And you have to, one thing you can do is adjust within yourself. And
Yeah.
another thing you can do is if you are sleeping with somebody, please, you do have the right to speak honestly and tell this man what that gap does to you. And I do it from a different point of view that feels like empowerment. If I sense a gap and I suggest to my clients, what happens to you? The gap makes you feel disconnected. That's not to his benefit if he wants to get laid, honestly.
Mm,
So
Well,
if, right?
go ahead. No, yeah,
So
I like what you're saying. Go ahead.
so sometimes telling your partner what happens to you when they have a certain behavior will key back to what's going to make them happy. Um, we can't always know that what we say to a partner that we feel will have an effect. But certainly how it affects them, they're
Hmm.
interested in themselves. So if it starts to erode your attraction or your interest in the relationship, that's pretty telling. That if you need contact to keep the flame underneath
Flame
the
going.
pot, yeah, it's to his benefit because he's going to have a much better time with a much more receptive person that's not angry or bitchy or withholding or resentful.
Why
You know,
why would he
right?
why would he disconnect though, Susan?
Well, maybe there's a whole lot we're not asking here. Are you in an exclusive relationship? We are assuming they are, but they might not be. He might be casually dating, and that's the setup. You have to kind of know, don't be afraid to have fundamental conversations on
Yeah.
structure when you
Yeah.
enter a relationship. If you, okay, perfect example, I'm going to tell on myself. I was 9 years
Uh-oh.
old. My dad bought me Toby, the Pinto pony,
Yep.
fat
Okay.
horse. Couldn't even put a saddle on him because it would slip off because he basically had no withers. I mean, he was like an oil drum. And I remember my father, lifetime horseman, okay,
Yeah.
gentleman rancher, said to me, watch me going around the pasture, and he said, baby, rein him. And I said, meaning take the reins. I said, oh,
Yeah.
don't worry, Daddy. He's going where I want to go. Can I tell you, Paxton, how many decades that followed me through relationships? So I have learned the
That's a
hard
good
way
one. That's a
that
good
if
one.
you don't set the course, they'll set it
Absolutely.
for you. And their
Absolutely.
course may be circuitous and it may be a dead end. So at some point, you got to take the reins, baby,
Uh,
if he's not going where you want to go. All right?
uh, do not forget, ladies, by all means, do not forget this story,
Toby
because
the fat
when
pony.
you get married, you change your last name. And some people think, well, I'm just not going to get married. You change your last name without even knowing it, because you're succumbing to whatever direction he's going in, and you're going to be going back and forth. You better already have your own direction, or you're going to be on a Toby. You're going to be on a Toby. I've been waiting. Okay, so what we got here?
I'm getting little things of people saying things flashing on my screen too. Is that cool? Oh, look,
That
I'm
is
getting
absolutely cool from last time. Do you
Tony
remember last time?
Cruz. Are you
Yes.
seeing that too? Okay.
Wait, which one? Tony Cruz?
I got a Tony Cruz because I'm doing something where it's stuck on the very first beginning of what we had.
Is it?
So
You're stuck?
yeah, but
Hold on one second. Hold on a second, because I have another question for you that somebody sent in,
okay.
and I'm going to try to read that to you. Nope. That was a repeat question. Okay, so we're good there. All of those are gone, and others are coming in all around us here. I am going to read this to you. Here we go. Somebody's talking about movies here and other stuff. Just give me a second here. Hi, Susan. Any advice on being discarded from a narcissist and watching them now move on with someone else, like nothing ever happened?
Move on to where?
That's from Gary Harris, 19. I guess
Okay, I
move on
know
to
this
another
name.
relationship. Okay.
Gary, I think I've seen your name before. I'm like,
Hmm.
narcissists don't move on to something that's going to go anywhere. But you got the narc abuse guy right here. So this is Paxton delivering this. Don't think somebody else is going to get the better
Nope.
version of what you didn't get. This is where we cut ourselves and put salt in the wound, and we all tend to do it, don't you?
Yeah.
Every time,
Yeah.
and ladies, you know too. You
Yeah.
break up with a guy and you see him with somebody new, like nothing happened. He's now involved, and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
everything I did to develop him. He's got the wardrobe I gave him. He's got the new
Yeah.
shoes. He knows how
Yeah.
to do
He's
this and
got the
that.
watch. He's got the watch. He's got
Yeah,
the
he's
this.
got this and
Yeah.
that. He can say
I
that he's
gave him
gone to the
that.
theater. I took him to
Yeah.
Florida. It was,
Yeah.
you know, it's she's going to get everything that I wanted. Or this girl is going to give something to the guy that you wanted. But if
Yep.
this person is truly a narcissist, nobody gets anything but a headache and a lot of low self-esteem at the end of that ride. So
Hey,
nobody's
hey,
right.
if that was your ex, you didn't even get the best out of them. So what do you think that,
Yeah, yeah.
and if they had an ex when they met you, they didn't get the best. See the pattern? See the
Yeah.
pattern? Hey,
Yeah, people don't change. Like we can
nah.
listen, it is true that if we come into somebody's life, we are vastly different. They can be one way with one person and another way with us, but that's with healthy people. Okay? That's with healthy people with a mindset to grow and
Yeah.
honest communication and some skill set for a relationship.
Honest communication is, you've touched on it a number of times. Each one of these questions, you've kind of touched on the communication aspect in some shape, form, or another. How, this is going to sound really, here we go. We go with the dumb one. How important is honest communication and having a sit down about something that needs to be talked about, especially at the beginning of a
God, it's so
relationship?
important. I I do this before I ever hit the sheets. You do not want to be having these discussions later. I mean, if it's somebody I think I'm going to be involved with, I have, God, I must irritate the hell out of a man. I mean, they have to listen to me talk and talk. And I figure if they make it through the first date and their ears don't bleed, we have a shot. Honest to God.
If their ears don't bleed. Come on,
Absolutely.
Susan. What kind of questions? What kind of questions? What kind of
I'm telling
conversation?
you, because
Susan,
my
come on.
last
Give us the
driver
little,
said,
let us be the
Susan,
fly on the wall. What's happening with the
tesorito.
conversation?
Yeah, but yeah, because I go through everything as the pre-qualification. Like I put it all out there. There's no mystery to me. I got zero mystery. I don't have time for mystery. I love it. The girls that do, they're all like, "Oh, I mystery."
Yeah, yeah,
Listen,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not perfect. I can't posture. It is what it is. I'm older. I don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm not
Don't have
interested in
time.
playing games.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to be honest. I want to create something magnificent, and you got to know what you're working with. Wouldn't it be nice if you walked into a showroom to buy a car and they
There.
actually gave you exactly what you asked for? Not
Yeah.
gave you like a used car, didn't give you like something that looked good and then underneath you've got a lawnmower for a
Yeah.
motor. So it's like that's how it is with
Shiny on the
dating
outside
other.
with not
Yeah.
shiny on the outside and ain't got nothing else to it. Matter of fact,
So
you getting all kind of love right now for what you saying. I'm looking at it right now. Okay, I just got
so
to tell you what it said. An inquisition is what Ann says.
uh
Amber says, same here, Susan. I resonate, bleeding ears and all. She says when she's talking to somebody,
but
they all
guess
agree with you. No mystery is what she's saying. Yeah, right.
but to get the best results, you say it like a positive monologue, as though you are revealing yourself and how you roll. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
it's not about making them feel uncomfortable. It is about this is I believe this, and I jump to the philosophical. I'll have a so that they don't. One thing I have a little trick. If I speak directly to you and make you comments, you're going to feel uncomfortable. I don't know what you feel. I've just met
Yeah.
you.
Right. Right.
I will speak philosophically about what I believe. I will discuss it in a realm that doesn't make the person, the new date, feel that they are targeted.
Right.
I'll say to them, I like monogamy. We got to have that conversation ASAP. So
Right.
you
Right.
better
Right.
run if you're not.
Right.
I like being honest. I think it's important to set a standard for everybody being comfortable. Otherwise, it gets really uncomfortable later on. But, that's what I do. And then I see what they say.
Hmm.
But I think an upfront warning and the honesty is helpful. I've always had, because my partners have been younger, I have always had one conversation I have had to have, and it's for my protection, actually. I explain to them that if the day or time comes that they get a little curious about what else is out there, please come and tell me, and we will sort this out and go our, at least give me a chance to talk it through. And if you need to go your own way, you will have my blessing. I'm not going to be happy about it, but you're not going to be bad or wrong. I understand. Okay. You're
When it
younger. I understand. But
when
if
it
I
comes to
find out,
communication, you want people to be honest. Is that what you're saying?
yes, and I tell them that they can hold me to this very conversation that I'm saying right now. I will not slash your tires. I will not burn your clothes. I will not torture you on social media. I would
Okay.
rather you tell me what I don't want to hear, and I will respect you for being honest and honoring this conversation, than to have me find out that you're duplicitous, have lied to me,
Right.
have
Right.
led me on a goose chase, and now I look disrespected to the world. So
Hmm.
that's a greater offense to me. I don't want to hear you're crazy in love with Sheila, but you're not going to be bad and wrong for telling me. I would
You
rather you tell me, as uncomfortable as it is, if we can't speak these uncomfortable things, we got no shot at a real relationship.
you
And nobody will ever feel loved if they have to hide who they are. They're just
you get
not.
you get what result when you lay that out?
Well, normally the mouth
Scared,
is,
run, or
uh,
what?
no, well, it depends. The mouth is normally dropped, the eyes are big. Sometimes it's like overwhelmment. Other times, adult men have cried. It's like I don't know. Whatever.
Very,
I can't interpret what I can't.
varied responses, but you stick to that and making sure that it's clear. This is where I stand, and this is the reaction you're going to get from me. But I
It's my
expect this
preference.
in return.
Well,
Um,
it's not that harsh. This is my preference. This is how you can. This is
got it.
how I'd like to do it. They
So
are
you state
not
your
under.
preference. You state
Mm,
your preference. I'm pulling on the fact that you're really um, you're really informing women to state their preference instead of just going along for the ride on Toby, as it were. No, no, I really,
no,
that was a
I know
serious
it's.
statement,
I
but
know
I'm just,
because
to me, I'm
it's.
processing it as a guy. I'm going like, so you're
No,
just
no.
saying, hey, look, let me just clarify this to you up front, but you're saying you're not mean when you do it.
Oh no, they don't. My only goal is to express my monologue at that point. I'm
Got it.
telling you,
Got it.
I'm showing you the manual. This
Got
is
it.
the Susan Winter manual.
I love
You
it. I
may
love it.
not read the 37 pages. Let me give you an overview, right?
Kind of like
Because
this
your
show.
ears are
This is
going to,
just an overview,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Your
So
ears are going to bleed.
here's how we roll. The chapter on communication, the chapter on fidelity, the chapter on this. I don't expect you're going to
I
actually
could
take a
see you
look at your,
doing that. I could see you totally doing that from our
but it's
conversation.
very elegant and it's kind of cute. I don't make them suffer.
It's
I
very
don't care
Catherine.
how
It's
they
very Catherine
respond.
Hepburn. Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't care
care
how they
how they
respond.
respond. That you cannot care how they respond if you're trying to reveal the truth. You can only
Yeah,
be in one place. Are you concerned if they accept you, or are you concerned that you clearly articulate where you stand?
yeah,
They can choose or not. They are free or not.
yeah, yeah.
I also have another conversation with men. This is so self-revealing, but I'm not saying do what I do. Look at what is an option that you may not have considered and do what feels right to you. We're just trying to expand your ability to feel powerful and articulate who you are. Another option I will say to a man is sometimes if we're not
It's a
sure,
family show. It's a family show. Just want to tell you that.
no, it is that if we think we might be physical with each other
It's a family
before
show.
we are, I will say, It is my intention to love you. For me, that's what I want to do. You're not required to love me back. I would prefer that you do. But for God's sake, don't edit my emotions because you're uncomfortable with somebody feeling something for you, because now you take the joy out of the experience I want to have. So
Wow.
do not edit me because you are uncomfortable feeling something. And that's where they normally cry.
You know what? You know what? We got to have more show preps, because this show is really just a show prep show. This is not even a real show. This is kind of like just you and I talking. Okay,
Oh,
so
good.
don't edit me. Okay, Susan, you and Lauren have to get together, and that needs to be a T-shirt that you sell in your store. You need to have a merch store
Don't
that says
edit me.
"Don't edit" hashtag Don't edit me. From now on, everybody, if you go to Susan's page, matter of fact, today, starting today, if you can do it right now, fine. Go to her page and post anywhere on there and anywhere in the comments for this show, hashtag Don't edit me, especially you ladies. That should be your running theme that came from you. Hashtag Don't edit me. I'm going to use that. That is perfect, because this editing part happens whether you're sitting at a dinner table or anywhere. People a woman can get edited and not know it's happening to her, because guys can put stuff on the cutting room floor real quick and walk away.
Well, emotionally, if somebody wants to spend this much energy and your capacity is this, and getting involved with them is a matter of you shrinking to their capacity,
Yeah,
that's unfair.
do me a huge favor.
What you feel. I'm not saying you have to love me. I prefer it. Like now, I might not have that conversation with somebody. I think I had that some 10 years ago. But I mean, now I'd like it to be mutual, of course. But at that point, I had somebody that I kind of wasn't ready for a relationship with, but I wanted it to be quality, whatever my interaction was, no matter what label you put on it, no matter how long or how short. I strive to bring content, truth, and true emotion into it, and human respect, to make whatever it is rewarding for me.
That's what I really like about you. I love it.
And then they're the beneficiary as well. You know, it's just, if you edit me down to what you're comfortable feeling, then what do
now we have a problem, right?
Yeah.
Now we have a problem, you know, and that's okay. It's you're talking, but it's blowing up over here because people are talking about that phrase. I told you, you done started something now. Yep. You think I'm joking? Look, I'll read it to you, my friend. I'll read it to you. It says, great stuff. Stay in your lane. What does don't edit me mean? Now you're talking while this is happening on the screen over here, and people are answering that question almost for you, but I'm going to ask you to repeat it again about the don't edit and what it means. But here, I'm going to read you something someone says here.
Okay.
Smart Click is the name here. The Instagram name says, nobody is allowed to edit me, with an exclamation mark. Agreeing with you. Mystics says it means making someone second guess themselves and influence how they feel, and making them doubt their truth and how they feel. Okay, now please, Susan, emphasize again, what does it mean when you mention to someone, or now it's catching on, now you done started a trend, don't edit me. What does it mean when you tell somebody, don't edit me?
When I tell somebody, don't edit me, there are many versions of this in different contexts, but the context for me is don't edit my level of emotions that I am capable of feeling and putting into this vehicle. It doesn't have to be forever. We can give it whatever label we want, but for God's sake, don't minimize my capacity because you have less. Don't make me less because you can't be more. That's
Bingo.
what it means.
Bingo. Absolutely. I just needed you to say that. If nothing else happens today, that is very important, and it's taking a conversation in itself over here. As you know, as I told you, I will be able to save all of this and prepare it for our second show and for our big event that we'll have later on. This is, I'm telling you right now, you done started something over here from what I'm reading. But I need to get to some questions. There was a question here that a young man sent in asking you, and I'm just going to scroll up here. He was asking, how does a man He wants to know, how does a man, let me see if I find it. Okay. Joe Mama Bear is the name. It says, how can you help a man who has been cheated on, not by me, is what she's saying, feel safe with you? How can you help a man who has been cheated on by someone else feel safe with you, with her?
So a lot of that is his stuff, and you have to see if he's working through it. All you can do, and this is all you can do, because half of it's him and the other half is you, is to be constant in your affection, to be forthcoming in what's going on, to understand, and to try to answer any questions that he has about where you are and what's going on. Now, if it tips to the point that you feel that you're being edited on where you're going, what time are you, and there's a sign out sheet by the door and he's tracking your phone, listen, a lot of people have problems trusting people once they've been cheated on. I would remind your partner, I'm not her, I'm me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that, and let's have an agreement. Here's what I'll do for you. If I think I'm attracted to anybody, so much so that I would step outside of this, I promise I will tell you. Okay? You have to promise me you will be civil and handle that like an adult. So that's the reverse conversation of what I would tell guys, right? What I mentioned before.
When it comes to them being civil, a lot of people that watch these shows don't have anyone in their life to give them advice. Many of them, children of alcoholics, children of divorce. A lot of people watch these shows come from the foster home system. They don't have anyone to give them the advice you're passing on. What we're talking about is all fresh and new to them. And then there are those who watch this show like this with you and I together because they want to know how to live life after a divorce, or they're going through a divorce, or a number of other things. So the audience varies. I want you to do this for me. I'm going to read this here.
Okay.
Smart Click says this is the basic of decency, honesty.
True.
So many people involve themselves in relationships, and it's whoever he or she mentions that, and others chimed in after that. Honesty always, and the number of things. Piggybacking something you said, please, for the audience that I kind of described to you, whether they're on the spectrum of leaving a relationship or non-contact, whatever label, narcissist, whatever it may be, or they're beginning and it's a boyfriend. My audience has dropped all the way down to the analytics age of 16. Watch these shows now. So there's people who are green, and then there's people who've been burned. Why is honesty important?
It's twofold. One, our first task as a human being is to learn to be honest with ourselves. That way we can grow. That way we can become the better version of ourselves. So that's tier one. Nobody can be honest with you if they're not honest with themselves. Number two, to have an open and safe place for communication allows you to have the opportunity to grow with your partner. Challenges are going to happen, whether it's a lover or it's a husband or wife. Challenges will happen, bumps come in the road. You're going to hurt them, they're going to hurt you, there are going to be assumptions, there are going to be misunderstandings. And instead of assuming, reacting, and it's called the ladder of inference. So you observe something, you assume something from this observation, and then you quickly go to a reaction and make a judgment about it without ever having discussed
all
this
the
with
facts.
your partner.
Yeah.
It just doesn't give any relationship a chance to grow. Now, I'm not saying that everybody watching this is going to find a partner who can equally match their skill set at this, but it is worth trying to establish safety as a ground rule, that this is something I think we need to try. This is a worthy goal for us. It's not comfortable. There might be things I want to say that I'm scared to say to you. There might be things you want to say that you're scared to say to me. I don't mean brutal honesty, like I hate the cellulite in your ass. I don't mean that kind of honesty. I mean diplomatic.
That's rude.
Diplomatic, tactful discussions that need to be revealed because challenges will happen and we can't work our way out of it, out of silence and resentment. It's just never going to get resolved. So the more that we can explain, the more that we can listen, the more that we can learn, the more that we can dialogue, we can start to get to negotiation, where the subject you're talking about becomes like this thing, like, okay, here's the problem. The problem is I really get jealous of your female friends. I think Kara has like a little thing for you, and I'm really uncomfortable watching it. Really, I didn't think that. She doesn't like me at all. Yeah, I'm a woman. I'm kind of feeling this. I don't want to stop you. It's your friend. Help me with this. You enlist your partner to help you and make them an active part of it so they're not fighting you. That releases their resistance. Help me with this.
Right.
What am I missing? Can you amend your behavior? I don't want to stop who you are. How do we work our way through this? It just changes the timbre of everything. You know?
Yeah, this is what you started. I'm going to read to you because of you've been talking. This is what people say. They love your approach when you talk about meeting someone and what you're talking about right now. Susan with a bunch of exclamation marks. Go Susan, Susan. I am so much like you. That's from Smart Click. Wild Zeppelin says, and this is why we love Susan. I can't even say it the way it's actually written. It takes away from it. But listen, we've got other things planned. True. We've said that to everyone here a number of times. Different questions are here, which we are going to repurpose and put into other shows toward a bigger show. Hearts have been flowing for you freely. Many of you may think, oh, he's not going to get to my question. That's very possible for today. But I am going to do this. Susan, can you please explain this to everyone? You just talked about honesty. And there are some other questions here we'll get to in a moment. But can you explain why it is important to activate self-love for oneself?
Okay, this is a big discussion. Let me start with something far more realistic and attainable. I'd like everybody to start to get behind their choices in life. If you make a choice with the best information you have today, which is all we've got, get behind it and trust yourself. If you see you need to amend it because new information is revealed, then amend it. Stop beating yourself up over the past. Start looking for what you want to create in the future. Do your best job. That's the beginning of getting into agreement with yourself. Mm-hmm. When you start to get into agreement with yourself and agreement with your choices, self-esteem and self-love automatically begins to rise because you're not fighting yourself. Yes. Most of us would have a natural state of self-love if we weren't hearing a constant dialogue, much of it sociologically pre-programmed from either your parents or your community or Instagram, like, you know,
whatever.
I'm not thin enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not rich enough. There's a lot of external chatter that destroys our natural self-esteem. And guess what? It's perfect to make you buy somebody's product. So see through it.
Yeah,
nobody would sell anything. Do you think women would pay $20,000 for a handbag if they didn't believe psychologically that elevates their worth? That's insane. Yeah. Right? So we are all captive to certain systems with different regimes. It doesn't matter what your political country you come from. Everybody's got their own way to do stuff. The way to get off of that track and kind of get back to yourself is to start to get clear on what you like, make your choices, learn, reassess, come back in and reformulate who you are until it matches most clearly how you really feel on the inside. And then you begin to like yourself because you're not fighting who you are.
And a lot of people find themselves fighting who they are before they enter a relationship. And then now they're fighting another person. And oh my goodness, they're fighting who they are. And it's just one continuous thing that leads to them not being honest with each other. And then there's no growth in the relationship. You've spoken to a number of clients. We'll see, you're like over 5,000, I think it says in your bio. You've helped individuals.
That's individuals. That's not
groups. We're not in group settings like some other coaches do.
Uh-huh.
Yours is different. But there, I'm going to do this with you right now. I have been planning this for almost about 9 months before I asked you to come back. I've been planning this for a while. No, yep, I'm going to do it right now. And so everything that you have seen today, ladies and gentlemen, it has been on purpose to lead to this moment in time in
You
which
didn't
I
tell
get
me?
to. You got that right. I sure didn't. Where on this show, I'm just going to do this for just hang in there, everybody, and for all of you newbies who've never been here, I often have different cards that I hold up and ask questions or thoughts or whatever, or I just mention certain statements that are on these cards. You can't see what they are, of course,
I
and then
can't.
you go ahead and respond to them.
It's the
As
game show.
this is technically this is as close as I can get to a Groucho Marx show. So yeah, so
Okay.
that's really where I got it from. I'll be honest, that's where I got it from. And so then I have the yellow card. Now, the yellow card no one really wants, but they get it anyhow because it is the most difficult card out of all of them. Now,
Okay.
I am going to let you know when we get to the yellow card, but we
Oh
have
Lord.
gone 1 hour and 28 minutes, so I have to do this now because we're going to be ending this
Okay.
show
Okay.
in about
Okay.
10 minutes. So I've
Okay.
got to get to this. So everything that
Okay.
has happened before now is all scripted and not scripted. It's all live, planned. We planned this show together, but none of it is to the point that it's well under complete control. But here we go. I'm going to start it off this way. I truly like you, Susan. I really, really like you as a human being. I want to say that before you get mad at me for the fun that I'm about to have with you. So anyhow,
Okay.
so I'm just like, hey, you said be honest. I'm being honest here.
You're
Okay,
really betting a
so
lot on this
I
friendship
knew,
that we
yeah,
have here.
I know you're going to
Okay.
say that. See, I knew you were going to say that. So everyone, I need you to like, comment, share, follow Susan. Like, comment, share, follow Susan. Do not embarrass me in front of my friend, and don't at least follow her page, but
Okay.
I need you to go a step further. I need you to subscribe to her YouTube channel. I
Well,
need you to
thank
become
you.
a part of the Susan Winter family. You need to get winterized with Susan in your life. So I need you to do that. Now, Susan, it says on her bio, love coach, relationship expert, motivational speaker. You've experienced all of that right now with her. We will be doing two other events. One huge event in which many will be able to participate in a huge group chat. And many of the questions here will facilitate that particular production and a whole lot more. But enjoy the ride. We're going to have some fun together. Susan and I, and you are invited to join us. Over 29 million YouTube hits. What is that like for you, madam?
That's since 2016, so that's been good. We're almost at 30 million. That's every Sunday of my life. I'm recording when you
Yeah,
guys are
yeah.
out
Yes,
taking a
I
hike.
was just going to say, yeah. When
But
everybody out is
I've worked,
having fun, right?
yeah, I've worked very, very hard to not be the last thing I did. And, going on Oprah was a really cool thing. I've never
Yeah,
asked for publicity. I've never written
yeah,
anybody. I've never
yeah.
begged anybody. I didn't even have a
I love it.
website. And I didn't want to be the last thing I did. I wanted to see what would happen
Yeah,
if, I wanted to see what would happen if I could put on blinders like the
yeah,
horses in Central Park and run as hard and fast as I could at the
yeah.
very end of my life. Like I hit my peak when I was getting my Medicare card. It's like, Jesus God, oh my Lord. Like who hits their
I
peak?
know
I
you
mean, this is
said that.
insane, right? And I'm not young, so I couldn't open up a laptop in a tutu and go, oh, hi. So, like Gary left me, so I thought, what am I going to do on camera?
There are
And I
some
thought, I
tutu
am,
haters. There are going to be some tutu haters for that comment.
but they're adorable. They're 20 and they can do that. And I thought, oh God, I need good lighting. And what am I going to do? So I only knew how to do what I'd done formerly when I was in financial news. And so I thought, I'm going to have to be my version of myself. And it might not be good for this audience. And then I thought, well, and I'm going to talk about the things I want to talk about. So
Yeah,
I never chased an audience. I
yeah,
never
right.
chased an SEO like, oh, this is popular.
Yes,
I'll talk
yep,
about it.
yep.
I would just hear conversations throughout the week or be working with clients and like, wow, this is something I want to talk about. And so I think without meaning to, my naivete and lack of business foresight, like I didn't
Yeah,
have a strategy, really was very helpful because it kind of came off as being different and new. And and real and authentic. So
Yeah.
I think that people have seen that. And I also don't want to lead you to the edge and then
Yeah.
drop you off. Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, if you want to know the answer to this, then subscribe to my channel and buy this product for
Yeah.
$1,100. I want to
Yeah.
tell you, if you want to work with me, that's cool. But I'd like to have you have this because I think it's more
Yeah.
important that people know it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not,
Yeah.
it's more important that people can get functional.
You
So,
are indeed authentic because you want growth on an authentic rate.
yeah.
You don't want
Oh,
fast paced growth or
well, I would
self in
prefer it to be fast, but
well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
but yeah,
You don't want to go out and buy followers and subscribers. You're the real deal. You are a best selling author and a TV personality.
true.
You are a person that then I can ask what I'm about to ask you now. After
Okay.
touching on your bio and you mentioning those beautiful words, how authentic you are, since that's the case, then authentically answer for everyone as succinctly as possible this question. What does it mean for two people to grow together romantically?
Mm. It means to have the intention to try to stay aligned. It's like the DNA strand. You will grow apart, and it's uncomfortable, but it's a necessary part as each individual grows in their own direction. But that you start with the intention to continue to grow together. Because if the relationship remains static and confined, it will die. So if you can factor growth
Mm-hmm.
into your relationship and find a partner with that mental construct, you will keep challenging each other. You will keep trying to bring out the best in each other. You
Absolutely.
will be honest with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes they'll push you and
Yeah.
be like, I don't want to do it. And they'll be like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
it's
true.
better
That's
for
true.
you, honey. You got to
Yeah.
stretch. You got to go to yoga. I'm worried about you
Yeah.
might fall over when you're walking, whatever. So it's important that we
Yeah.
try. If we love our partner, it's important that we try to continue to find them as we continue to grow as an individual.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That was card number one.
Okay?
Now for card number, if I can grab it here. There we go. There we go. Card number two. Okay.
Is that the
So,
yellow one that we fear?
no. Trust me, it's coming. So,
Okay.
yeah, so, it's coming. All right. So, card number two, as simple and as succinct as you can, as we're nearing the end of the show. What does it mean when a man tells a woman that he wants to get to know her better? In your opinion, what does it mean when a man says, I want to get to know you better?
I take it at face value that he's interested romantically,
Yeah.
given that I can't see or sense the person. I don't know if that's very polite code for I'd like to get busy with you, or it just means I want to know you. So until I have context, I think it means what it says.
So based upon what you just said, a woman shouldn't want to immediately want to start living together or get married, I should say. She's not going to sit there and just go like throw her life away and go like, oh, he wants to get to know me better, and then she
No,
can't sleep. That's what I'm essentially trying to say. She loses all sense of urgency for other things because he just says, I want to get to know you better. She doesn't lose it, right?
no, that's code for I'm interested in exploring what's here. It isn't I'm code for I want to live with you and marry you. It is simply an intention to explore the possibility of what could exist. That's
That
it,
was
right?
that was me trying to shrink wrap 7 questions that I had just on that. So I had to find one phrase to kind of
Okay.
hopefully for everybody that told me that hopefully that helps you there, because that was a common theme. The guy says, I want to get to know you better, and the women were like, what does that mean? And so we'll let Susan answer that, and I think you did a great job. You need more info is essentially what you're saying, right?
Well, it's an intention to explore the possibility of what they could be together. That's all it is.
Not making wedding plans.
No,
Yeah,
no,
thank you. That's what some of them were saying. It was going like,
no,
wait a minute,
no,
calm
no,
down.
no,
Okay,
no,
so
no,
that's number
no,
two.
no.
I shrink it. Okay, number three. Number three. Okay, number three. Susan, if you had to describe what it feels like to have a man give you attention and you're not interested, how would you describe that?
Uncomfortable. If it's sexual and romantic attention,
Okay.
because now I'm under
Uncomfortable.
pressure for me,
Yeah.
that's just for me, because now I'm forced to do something with that. If I allow it, then it will continue and I'll give him mixed messages and the wrong message. Now I have to find a diplomatic way to stop it. So
Okay.
that would
What's the diplomatic way? Now I gotta ask. Now I gotta ask that.
Yeah.
I have to. We can't leave on. Give some clues to some of these young women that when a guy is giving her interest. Now we're not talking, ladies, about sexual harassment or something. That's different. We're talking about
a man is romantically or sexually interested in her and she doesn't want it.
okay, yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. How can you give some advice to younger women or anyone how to navigate that so it makes sense to them?
Okay. Number of different ways depending upon his vibe. One is if she absolutely concretely knows and he tries to make a move on her, say, I'm so sorry. You have completely misread my message and my intention. This is not a place I'm going. I'm not. Or I have told men to really back them off. I'm a bad guy.
Wow.
You do not want to be in a relationship with me. Trust me, I know myself.
I would love to see it. I would love to see you do it.
So many times. I know I look interesting. You don't want to go here. Trust me, I'm telling you the truth. I'll be a better friend. You do not.
You need a shirt that says that. I look interesting, but you don't want to go there. That would work for you, my friend. You could pull that off. But anyhow, so a woman needs to go.
Because, I mean, I've had guys know me and their friend, and then they're kind of like, they try and test that, thin ice. I'm like, dude.
Hey, they lean in and they're bringing the shoulder. They're bringing the shoulder and going like, how you doing, Susan? How you doing? And you go like, what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing? All right.
I have said to other people, if I'm not interested, look, I'm not. If you absolutely know they're trying to date you, and say, look, just so you know, I'm not interested in dating anybody. Or if you can't get rid of them and you do want to date, you want to see them dating, you can say, I'm sorry, this isn't the connection I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And that's always uncomfortable because we feel badly. Women really belabor this. Guys are just much more direct. And I think
true.
I think men just want to know yes or no. We can spend weeks trying to craft the argument, and all they need is like, well, just yes or no. Like,
that's true. That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct.
This guy, name will be not
Don't revealed,
say it. Said to me, "What I know because it's so crazy." He said, "So are you selling pickles or are you not selling pickles?" I said, "No pickles here."
Pickles? Seriously?
No. He said,
you may never tell me in private, but I'm just gonna keep asking you every now and then. Hey, was it so and so? Hey, was it?
I'll tell you in private.
I just said it. Selling pickles. I'm sorry. That one, whatever you do, don't make a shirt that says that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's funny though. That's actually funny. Okay, so that was number 3. Here we go. Here's the number 4. Then we get to the yellow. So the number 4, and just in case you're wondering, these are all crammed in questions or whatever that I received, and that I've made them all because they were similar into something. So here we go. These are, by the way, from my viewers. I put a few feelers out, and they kind of like gave me. So here we go. Number 4. This may be the most embarrassing. Number 4. Here we go. Susan, if a man approached you and he wanted you to be, well, how can I put it? He wanted you to take care of him the way his mother was always there for him. What would you say?
What?
You take care of him the way his mother took care of him? If he literally said that to you.
Oh, my dear, I could never be the woman she is.
You are so diplomatic. You're so diplomatic. Is that when you will pull pull diapers out? Go ahead.
She's in a class all of her own, and I wouldn't even breach that territory.
You kicking him to the curb, aren't you? Seriously? Yes, you are. I was gonna say you better than me. I just like you gotta go. Don't talk to me like that. Just you gotta go.
It's
You
not
would
very
kick it.
sexy.
That's disgust. No, it's not.
Would you treat me like my mommy?
Yes. Who would?
I'm
Wait.
incredibly nurturing, but I'm not going to treat you like your mommy. That's kind of creepy.
Sick. Sick. So when I had a few of those, uh, three
You
for
had a
sure. Was
number
it
of these.
four?
Wait,
Was it four?
did a number of these people ask you that?
Oh,
Is
you
that's a
have.
real
You have. I love my audience. So let me disclaimer before I start opening my mouth. And then, I love the viewers, but I just want you to know, people have the most interesting questions
Oh,
and thoughts on their mind. You should. Well, emergency room we talked about
yeah,
earlier.
yeah. I never know what
Yeah.
I'm getting. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so that's number four. Now
Okay,
the yellow card, and then we're going to be ending the show and getting ready for our
okay,
next event,
okay,
and then the next event after that. But here we go. The yellow card is me. I'm just letting you know
okay,
today. The yellow card is me. These are what I'm going to ask you to do. I have 3 time frames here, and I want you to describe Susan during those time frames. The first
okay.
time frame between the ages of 5 and 15, Susan Winter, that we have here in front of us, the beautiful Susan E. Winter. I just love saying it that way. Susan E. Winter. I like going up when I say E. All right, so Susan E. Winter, everybody's laughing at us over here. They go like, great answers. By the way, Ann is saying great answers. Everybody's laughing at you and your beautiful answers. Here we go. Between the ages of 5 and 15, Susan E. Winter, what what type of young lady were you? What type of teenager, young girl were you
Mm.
between the ages of five and 15? Wait, hold on now. There's part to it. Were you funny? Were you nerdy? Or were you sexy?
None of the above.
I knew you were gonna say that if I asked you that
None
question.
of the
You
above.
literally said none of the above.
I was
I was, you know what?
insecure.
And I was gonna say, you can't say none of above, and you said it. Okay, go ahead. You were
Right. I,
insecure.
I was insecure. I was a little chubby. I was fighting. I didn't want to fit in with the group that was cool because I didn't
Uh-huh.
like them, but I was terrified not to. Um, I didn't understand the world I was in.
Okay.
I felt like an outsider.
Hmm.
I was very creative and I was very introspective and constantly in my head. I'm
Wow.
an only child.
Wow.
I lived in the country in a very remote area, didn't play with other children, went to every cocktail party and every adult event. My parents took me around.
Wow. Wow.
Um, and there was physical violence in my home, so I didn't know what it was like to sleep throughout the night. So that was my story.
Wow. You were a country girl,
Yeah.
and
Well, not hee haw country girl, but I mean, I lived in the
hey, come
country.
on. See that now we having a conversation that
I
none of these
know.
young folks know
I know.
about because I watched Hee Haw. I watched Hee Haw. So, so I had no choice. My father was from Arkansas. So
Mm.
what I wanted to ask you now is the next time frame between the ages of 16 and 25 years of age. Between the ages of 16 and 25, how would you describe the Susan E. Winter between those ages, between the ages of 16 and 25?
16 to about 18, really lost, very rebellious, very headstrong, and very confused.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got into music, insanely focused,
Hmm.
hardworking,
Singing,
self-sacrificing
singing,
of all. Yeah,
singing. Okay.
yeah. And once I was in college, I mean, I didn't go out. I didn't try to date. I had a boyfriend. I always had a long-term boyfriend, but just I wanted to achieve. So yeah, in my 20s.
When it comes to the Susan between the ages of 26 and, well, sitting here with me today, between the
Oh,
ages of
that's a long
26
gap.
and
That's a
I,
huge
I,
gap.
I deliberately do that. So between the ages of 26 and now, the Susan that is here today, back on Narc Abuse TV network, hanging out with Paxton here, and all of the hearts that are just nonstop on the screen. I think
See,
if
I
they were
can't see
able
them
to
on
do
my
more,
screen.
okay,
Yeah.
I wish listen, unbelievable. I'm just going to say this. If any of one of my daughters are here or not, maybe or not, take a screenshot of that, or somebody take a screenshot
Yeah,
of the
because
heart,
mine
because
is
that way,
frozen in the
yeah.
very beginning of our conversation, and I was
So
afraid to push any buttons
no, no,
for
no.
fear I'll lose
So
you. Yeah.
everybody, do me a favor. Everyone that's watching, if you can take screenshots of us together today and send them to Susan. Of course, I would love you to send me, one or two. That'd be great. But make sure to let her know you were in on this show
Oh, thank
by
you. Because
taking a
yeah.
screenshot, send it to Susan with a positive thought. Now, don't be going weird and embarrass me in front of Susan now and be talking crazy stuff about your personal life. Just say a thank you. Take a screenshot and say thank you to her for giving up, giving up her time, because you have your show you got to do tomorrow, YouTube thing you got to do tomorrow, correct? Right? Or
Yes, every
okay.
Sunday.
So everybody, please make sure that you tell her that, because she's giving of her time. But I just want to do this. Between 26 and now,
Yeah.
what three words would you use to describe Susan E. Winter between the ages of 26 and now? What three words would you use to describe Susan E. Winter to someone who never met her?
Better than former. Better. Um,
Better,
diverse.
diverse,
Yeah. Um,
uno más.
oh, jeez. Um, intrigued.
Intrigued.
And I want to explain a little bit.
Yes, please.
I started to live a life when I started to live authentically and trust myself. And that's why I talk about trusting yourself and believing in yourself and making a decision and getting behind yourself. I went off script, whatever the world taught me to do, and I tried everything they said. And I thought, let me try. What would I do? Not what they would tell me to do. What would I do? And I started doing it. I scared myself because I was going, everybody's going this way and I'm going this way.
Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then everybody started following me, because then I started to realize that we all have this innate, unbelievable computer within us that knows exactly what to do. And it's just that we got confused and didn't know where to find it looking out here. So my life became a page turner. I started looking at myself doing things for fun. And it's like, oh my God, what's she going to do next? Oh my God, who's she going to be this decade? So
Wow.
I started to, had I lived the life that I was prescribed to live, I would have known the end of the story and I would have been bored to death.
There you go.
I started to live an authentic life that even surprised me. That's why it was for the first time intriguing. And I kind of became proud of that girl, because it took a lot of courage to go through the different levels of breaking through society's acceptance. And I should say rejection, only then to have greater acceptance. I mean, who knew?
Yeah.
So,
do you remember the moments that come to mind that felt like or were indeed rejection?
oh God, yes, of course I do.
Yeah.
From an entire community for loving a younger man that, I wasn't going to give him up for them, but man, did I pay a price. Holy cow.
A number of individuals, before we end the show now, a number of individuals get that rejection and they feel isolated and alone.
Yes.
Just briefly, before we go, speak to those people that may feel that.
You're going through the eye of the needle. I know what that's like. It is hard, but you must know that there is a whole new horizon on the other end. You are leaving what you never wanted to begin with. So get on board with that impulse, because you are heading someplace new, and any place new is going to be where you are and people like yourself. And the thing that you were hated for in the past, they're going to celebrate you for in the future. That's my experience. Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew? Absolutely. I love it. I love it. You getting so much love on the screen. I will do my best to screenshot as much as possible and send it to you. But you're based upon what we're saying, you're gonna get a bunch. You're gonna get a bunch of screenshots at this point, because I've never asked anybody to do this, and I'm begging you guys. Amber, Bree 007, many of you that are regulars here, please. Tim, Roots of Empath. By the way, he says, "I appreciate your honesty, Susan." That's Tim. He's one of the loyal followers.
So
and so I just want you to do me a huge favor, especially those of you who are regularly here. And I'm sorry, and the Pack Coach too. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. Anastasia, all of you, take a screenshot of the show and send it to Susan. You're gonna,
Thank you
you know,
so
you
much.
and
Yeah.
you and Lauren are gonna sit there and go like, what did Paxton just do? All these people are sending us this stuff. But please send it to her, DM it to her, send it to her, or send it to her via email. But whatever you do, subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Thank
And
you.
I just got to read some of this before we go.
Okay.
Please do not judge. He or she wrote, "Oh, thank you guys for this amazing, mind-blowing session and making it so memorable. You both are true role models." Oh, you're being more than kind. Thank you. That is so true. And I got to read you Abby here. She says, "Thank you. Love this." There's so much more here, my friend, but we're going to need to go. This is the longest show that I've ever done, 1 hour and 53 minutes with you. I remember when I first got started, Instagram wouldn't let me do more than 20 minutes. And then wait, get ready for what I'm about to tell you. You came on the show, and that was the first. No, I am not making this up. I am not making this up. And they actually allowed me to go beyond 20 minutes. That's why when you told me 20 minutes, I went like, piece of cake, not a problem. We can do that.
Okay.
And I was trying to cram everything in, and the next thing I know, they were like letting me go. Normally, they would just cut me off.
Wow.
They used to just cut me off like at 19.9 and 59. I was done, and they wouldn't let me go longer. You came on, and now I can do 2 hours.
Paxton, you've got
thank you
good
very much.
content.
I appreciate
It's
it.
really coming from a good place.
Thank you. You're very kind. Listen, everybody, show your love to Susan. We are done. Watch her tomorrow. I think you go live tomorrow,
Well,
correct?
no, I record in my home.
You record.
Every
You record.
Sunday, and
So,
then I prepackage it and put it out
got
so
it.
I answer their
Got it.
questions.
Got it.
So when they're out hanging out, I'm probably at home with the lights and stuff like that.
All right. We love you for that and your honesty and everything. Everybody,
Thank
please
you.
connect with Susan. Subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Beautiful as usual and elegant as always. Yes.
Thank you so much. And I'm seeing you again on November 6th.
Yes.
So we want them to know that, right?
No. Yes, you are. See, this is the production. This is the executive producer that she is. Yes. Say it one more time for us. November 6th.
Saturday, November 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're doing it again.
Yes. And we will be returning again November 13th. But you know what? Teaser alert. We'll let you guys figure that out later. We'll tell you more about that.
Big show.
Come back. We're going to talk some more. Listen, thank you so much for this. You look at you beautiful hair, beautiful from head to toe, beautiful colors you always wear. Next time I'm going to actually get dressed up and do better because, I gotta do better. Get my hair done. It's all right. Thank you, my friend. Love it. Love it. Okay. Yes, get my hair done. We'll see you. Everybody take care. Stay safe. Have fun.
Bye, everyone.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye-bye.
I think I got this right.
Hi. Oh my goodness. I was freaking out. I never got any little red sign. I was like, oh my goodness. Hey everyone, can you see me? Okay.
Yeah, little right in there. Oh, that's perfect. I'm trying to get mine right too here. The joys of live Instagram free TV here. Thank you, my friend. I know we were just talking a moment ago, but here they come. I was trying to give everybody a chance to roll in. Can you see the highs? Hi from Ohio. I'm going to read it from the big screen over here. Hi, Susan from Aaron Spark.
I see Anastasia. Hi,
Anastasia. Yes, right. The Pack Coach is here, Anastasia. Yes. And let's see here, Cindy Muaz. Let me just do this. I'm going to scroll up to the top. So everybody, let me see here. I'm going to try to get as much in as. Hi, Aaron. Yeah. Love from Mirama. Love. Hi, I'm the MJ Jam. She loves the song. Susie Waller saying hello. Oh my goodness, Susan.
I
You
had a
got it
friend that
going
was
on
just
here. Wow.
writing
Look.
me saying, "What's the link?" And I'm like, I had a hard enough time trying to find you. I never saw a little red button. I just started
Yeah.
pushing buttons left, right, and center. You're so good at this.
And you showed up. Oh my goodness,
Oh
Israel.
man,
Wait, you got one from Israel here.
I
Of
know
course, you
that's
got Debbie
Anastasia, right?
Williams. I'm going to read them out to you. Debbie Williams, 1313 from the UK, saying hello to you, Susan. Cindy Muaz from New York. Everybody, please shout
Let's
out
do it
where you
in the
are
house.
coming from.
Here we go. Part 2 with Susan E. Winter on our streaming TV network.
I got, I've got nothing but love for you. See, we did
Oh
it.
my
See,
goodness, I
we
got
did it.
nervous. I saw you and I'm
I,
like, oh,
I,
gotta jump on. Let me
I,
see. Do I
I,
request to be accepted?
you did
Oh
great. You
God,
did
I
great.
don't know.
Listen,
Hi.
listen, this is a chore that many people don't want to take is to come on live on Instagram. Get all my
Well,
light.
because we don't look
Get my
great
lights on.
with our iPhone.
No, 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 no. You look fantastic. You
Are
look
they hearing
fabulous,
us? Are they hearing us now?
fabulosa.
Are we live right
Well,
now?
well, people are telling you how. Yes, we are live right now.
Oh,
This is not
okay.
like just a moment ago when we were talking privately. So
Hey,
everybody, if you,
y'all.
yeah,
Hi, y'all.
yeah, they actually can hear us now. So everybody, we normally talk privately with our guests before they come on the show. We were doing that just a moment ago. This is again round two. We've already did round one a couple of weeks ago. We are going to take your questions. Many have been sent in to me, and some were left over because we are able to capture the show and all the comments here at Narc Abuse TV Network. And so we have questions from that. We have questions that were sent in. And then, of course, we have questions that came in today. And, of course, there will be some, no doubt, during the
Mwah.
show. You're getting tons of love
I'm
across
sending
the
them love
screen.
too. All of you.
Yes, feel free
I
to do that.
I love it when
Go
I
ahead.
recognize the names, you
That's
know.
good. Well, Judith is saying hi to you.
Hey, Judith.
Um, your fan club is here as well.
Yay.
Others, I'm trying to make this bigger on the screen for my older eyes here. I do want to mention this. Mention this. I see Abby has just joined us as well. Abby, one of your supporters and followers, as well as
Romina.
uh, also following us here on Narc Abuse TV. I just want to mention this to everyone. Um, your first time here, please do us a huge favor for Susan and I. Tell us where you're coming from. I don't care if you want to make up a place like Planet Mars, Narc Free Mars, or something like that. Just let us know where you're giving. Give us so I can give you a shout out from wherever you are, as well as feel free to put your first name or a fake name. If you want to be Jane Doe today, that's fine. That way I don't have to repeat your Instagram name. Right now, our main objective is to get to as much as we possibly can. What we're going to do today, everybody, last time we did a show together a few weeks ago, we went the longest I've ever done a show on Instagram, and I think they freaked out because they allow me 2 hours. I just never used
Good.
it, but we
Okay.
almost went 2 hours.
Okay.
Today, we're going to do an hour, take a break, and come right back.
Okay.
And then we're going to have everybody get ready with your questions for next Saturday.
Oh, it's
Next
the big
Saturday
day.
is really the big day in
Big
which
day.
we're going to hopefully talk to as many as possible until we both pass out. So,
Okay.
that's the plan, but we'll see what happens. Today right now, hold on one second. Today right now, I am going to start with this one. If you don't mind, Susan, because I'm going to get right to it. We're going to get as
All right,
many as
get
we
right to
can.
it.
All
All
right,
right,
here we go.
Paxton, here we go.
I tried to measure out how many questions I had and which one was the most popular.
Okay.
Impossible. Impossible. But this is one that was a common theme.
All right.
How do I know if it's infatuation or love?
Oh, they're very similar. Um, Infatuation is the beginning. It's where you still have, for those of you that follow me and you know what I mean when I say the dream, infatuation is the initial stage. It's where you don't know enough about them to have resentment yet, but it's kind of in between a crush and sexual attraction, and it's this beautiful pink bubble time period. Love is less dramatic. I mean, love is kind of comparatively, it is steady, it is calm. You find that you are willing to accept the pluses and the minuses of the human being. You see them for what they are. They disappoint you. They let you down. They have their humanity and their foibles. And, you know, you see moments that are unattractive and you still find a way to want to be with them. That's love, right? What do you say, Larry? I mean,
Okay.
Paxton, right? Yeah.
No, what I was going to tell you is you've explained it quite well because I would have not have said that at all. I would just say once they give you money, then they're in love with you. That's the wrong answer? That's the, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
I have
I'm
people
joking.
here on Super Chat that give me money, so I don't know about that. You know?
Well, I got to tell you this. You're getting New York. Okay, I'm just going to have to tell you. Andrea from New York City. Let's see. That looks like Ida from sunny San Diego. We've got Mystic, which we're going to say hello to Izzy, who's here. Judith from the Netherlands. Pakistan is in the house.
Wow.
Body Paint from Barcelona says, love you, Susan. They're from Barcelona. Thank you, Abby. Much love to you. She says hello to both of us. Looks like Romania is from Seattle. Amat from India. Mystic, by the way, which is Izzy, she's from Colorado. There's much more. Susan is the best. We love you, Susan. Oh, wait, this keeps going here. Susan is the best. Hello, Susan. It's Judith.
Hi, Judith.
Of course, your fan club is here, and many more that are saying hello from Canada. That's from Shanti. If I miss you, you know I love you, but we'll give you a shout out again. Let me scroll here a little bit more before I give you the next one here. Powell River, British Columbia, Canada is where Shanti is from. Let's see here. Hello, of course, from my friend Deb, beautiful Deb from Colo Life Coach Deb. She says hello from Colorado. England is in the house. Life After Narcissist, they're from England. And of course, Abby is from Paris, France. Fort Lauderdale, you did it. My goodness. It just keeps going here. Everybody, thank you. Lansing, Michigan in the house. Judith, of course, sends her love to you, and others. You still got me? You got me in your ear there? We're good?
I do.
Okay, all right. So here we go. That was on infatuation and love. Okay. When should we, this is coming from a young lady, when should we discuss money in the relationship?
Oh, that's such a good. So I have a speaking tour that I do. It's called Love, Money, and Power. People don't talk about this. They don't want to talk about it. One of the realities of having a relationship, being in a relationship with somebody, is that you will have discussions about finances, especially if you get serious as a couple, you start planning for your future, and you decide to cohabitate or you want to get married. So on the first few dates, I would suggest you don't say, I'm a wealthy woman, I've got tons of money. And I would suggest you don't say things like, oh, my last boyfriend took me to Monaco and I'm used to getting Bentleys and I only, you know, I'm assuming anybody who's on our channel together with your men, you know, somebody wants to listen, they're not going to be those people. But if you have an estate and you have money, some of it's evident, the other part of it should be discreet. You know, you talk money when you are a couple and you are determining how you are going to pay for things together.
Right.
I think 50-50, I like to have men court in the beginning. And then as you're a couple, it moves into 50-50. You may want to take your partner on a vacation. They take you someplace. It's got to work out like that. And so I'd have to know more the specifics of money. I do not believe in giving your partner a credit card. I do not believe in excessive gifts, and I do not believe in trying to buy affection. And especially if there is an age discrepancy, it just sets you up to be in that trap forever. I don't think any of us, there are a lot of women here that have a lot of money and they make good money. And there are men that are kind of uncomfortable with how to handle that. You shouldn't be experiencing things like, if you like to stay in a 4 or 5 star hotel, you're
Hmm.
not going to be comfortable in some roadside dive in a motel
Yeah.
where you're scared to go to
Motel
sleep
Motel
at night.
Six is Motel
Yeah,
Six not going to make it. Right.
yeah,
Yep.
like on a
Yep.
highway in the middle of nowhere where there are a bunch of
Yeah.
truckers and noise and like rowdy
Yeah.
people. You're not going to
Yeah.
like that. But money is a reality, and so is debt. There's a lot of things that look like money. So I'd love to hear the second part to that, as in,
Yeah.
what is it relating to?
I'll tell you the follow up because I asked the follow up to that
Oh,
when I
oh,
got the
brilliant.
question, and
Okay,
the follow up is that she had more money than the guy did.
of course.
So because the way the question when I received it and thought about it was, well, okay, that's just a basic question. Hey, we
Yeah.
both work, but no, it's she has extensively much more than he does. So it's a really good question from that standpoint. That's a really good one there. Hello from that looks like Sweden. That's Julia, and
Yeah.
we got Orangeburg, South Carolina from Christopher Johnson, also saying hello to you in regards to the show. Now, you got a question from one of your followers and subscribers that he posted and sent to me, as well as he reached out to you as well before
Okay.
the show. And I captured that question, and I'm just going to put it in a nutshell. Overall, the first question, he had the second one. I'll take a look at that a little bit later. But the first question was, in a nutshell, he was trying to get an idea of what he should do because for him, he's interested in older women, women that
Okay.
are older than him.
Okay.
So he was looking for advice how to present himself in such a way so that he can have a long-term relationship with an older woman. Well,
Okay.
go right ahead.
Firstly, you have to work against her assumption that you're immature. So the more sophisticated, the more worldly you are, the more your breadth of knowledge, the more successful you are, or at least secure and grounded, that'll serve you
Mhm.
well. Um, she's got to really like you as a person, and you need to be in a location where you would meet the kind of women. And I think I know who you're talking about. He's asked me numerous times to help him to know where to meet the kinds of women he wants. Well, I don't think you're going to find them in a club. You would find them in a quiet lounge. You would find them in an upscale hotel bar. You would find them in a networking organization, because women of a certain age don't want to put up with any nonsense. And you're not going to have them like drunk and throwing up, at 4 in the morning. They're just not going to do that. Right? So
Drunk and throwing up at 4 in the morning. Yes, there's a certain age group that it just immediately popped in my head
I
that
live
would
in New
find
York
themselves,
City.
sad to say, in that situation. But yeah, especially if they're
As
not mature and discreet.
I used to
Correct.
walk my dog when I was writing, and when I'd be like on a writing roll in the early 2000s, and I'd take her out in all hours of the day or night. And sometimes I'd get, and it would be 3 in the morning, and I'd see these girls on the street, in their high heels, and I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
but mature women, I would really look to present yourself as a solid guy, not a plaything, because they're going to put you in that box and assume that, one, you don't know how to have a relationship, and they're also going to
Yeah.
assume that you're there for reasons other than love. You either want to check it off your list as some kind of fantasy, or you want money and opportunity. So you're going to have to do everything to work against that.
Does this prove to be the same when it comes to the roles being reversed?
Absolutely. I mean,
So
take
the
take
breadth of
Miami.
knowledge, and how did you say it?
Take
Being
Miami,
worldly,
for
as it
instance.
were. Go ahead.
Miami. So my friends from Miami tell me all you see are these young gals looking absolutely gorgeous, trying to capture older men with money who are retired and went down there to relax in the sun. And half of New York has decided to stay there. So I hear these stories about this,
Yeah.
and I heard a colleague say recently. Hunt Etheridge said the other day. He said every man will know the true test of love when he meets a woman and he's doing well, and then he loses everything, and she's still with him as he
Yeah.
builds it back up.
That
And
he's absolutely correct. Yes.
and he's a
Yeah.
he's a cool guy. It's Quest for
Yeah.
Advice if you want to check it out here. And I'm
Okay.
meeting him for lunch on Monday too.
Cool.
Uh,
Okay.
but but it's we worry that you're going to leave us if we don't look pretty. I think guys worry in the heterosexual world that we're going to leave you if you don't
Yeah.
have any money.
Yeah.
So there's always that
That's true.
going
That's
on.
true, by the way. That's a running theme for majority of men. That's correct.
Women worry for the same reason. And if women didn't know that before, we got gigolos now, and maybe you didn't 60 years ago, except maybe in some of the European countries where it was more fashionable. But women who have money have to be careful of somebody love bombing them and coming after them for the wrong reasons too. So it
Yeah,
takes
that's
discernment, yeah?
you could see why that question that the young lady sent in. Once I asked her an additional question, a follow-up question, I could see where she was coming from
Yeah,
because you know the guy is appealing, but she had to be realistic that she's extensively much more well off than him, and she wasn't sure where this is coming from. And
she gets to control it. She
yeah,
can let him as close to her. She can keep her guard up, let him in, evaluate him. Listen, there are times that the best of us get fooled. It happens.
yeah.
You know, some are going to lie to you and some are going to be straight with you.
That
It
that
just, that's,
actually that actually is the next question. So
oh,
it
okay.
literally is that the next question.
Fantastic.
But I gotta say this to everyone that is watching, that is here with us. I see three questions here for me in front of me that I need to get to Susan. I'm going to get to those in just a moment. Everyone, please fill in the question section here in the live chat here with Susan. This live group chat. Again, I remind everybody, tell us where you're coming in from. We'll give you a shout out for that. And feel free to put your first name. That'll save us a lot of time instead of saying a long Instagram IG name. I got to tell you that we're going to start a fight here real quick before we get to the question. I'm looking at, oh my goodness, Arma, 88K. I'm just going to call you 88K.
Okay.
I'm going to butcher your name there. It says, hello, dear Susan. Here we go, Susan. Here comes the fight. Your biggest fan from Vancouver, Canada. Now,
Oh,
there's a
that's
few other people from Canada here. They may be fighting over you in a moment. So the biggest fan from Vancouver, Canada is saying hello to you. And let me see here. I got to get this in here. Susan, love you saying of we can't be seen looking through a dirty mirror. Uh,
I know
I'm
exactly what they're talking about. Okay.
okay. That's Gary. That's Gary, by the way. That's Gary
Okay.
Harris, 19. He says, I'm still holding up my cell phone light and cutting through the crowd. Always enjoy your advice. And he says, thanks to you, by the way. So he's giving some love to you on that.
Okay.
And a number of other people have commented there. We're going to get to that in a second, everybody. I got to give you this question because you were just touching on it just a moment ago. And the question is, how do I know if he or she is a player? Now, I combined a number of questions
Yeah,
that
yeah.
were very,
Right,
so
right,
I
right.
just went he or she. It wasn't one person that
Yeah.
said that. I had, I, I can't say which one outweighed the other, but it was a common concern. How does a person know if they're playing someone who is literally just playing with other people's hearts?
In the beginning, you will feel that it's very rushed. It's taken you by surprise. It's so much overload, compliments, attention. It's too much too soon, but it's intoxicating. I mean, you know it, but you love it. You want to go with it. And so you want to absorb it. Nobody
Yeah.
falls in love that quickly. Nobody thinks they're that amazing in a day or two or a week or three. So you have to be careful. The number one sign is excessive. It's excessive. It feels too good to be true. And most of the time, I hate to say this, but when it feels too good to be true, it may just be the case. I don't want to dissuade anybody who's in that 10% of, oh my God, I think it is real, because it
Yes.
can be that, but you've got to be cautious. Anybody that's getting you to move too fast and urging you to fall in love, and they've never felt like this before, and oh my God, I told all my friends about you. Let's see if they can make it through the 6 month mark. Okay, because normally this is
6 months,
2 months.
six
Yeah,
six
yeah,
month
because
mark. Got it.
normally a month or two they're gone.
Okay.
So let's see if they can
I,
make 6 months to a year and still feel the same way.
yeah. So don't be jumping at the first sale
Try
that's
and
there.
slow,
Yeah.
yeah,
Slow it
try
down.
and slow
Slow
it
it down.
down a bit so that you're not losing your footing in the way.
Yeah.
It's that unbelievable light that they cast on you. That's a player. That's what they do. They make you feel amazing. When you feel the drugs
Yeah.
going through your system, the
Yeah.
dopamine, the
Yeah.
testosterone, all that stuff, oxytocin. You just know, I'm on a drug high. I better back up and take a look at this. Okay.
Ah, that's a good one. I like that. Oh, well, the follow up to that was, is she a player or gold digger? But you pretty much settled all of that right there. I can mark that. Unless you want to add something to that, I'm going to mark that question off
Well,
as well.
gold
Is she
diggers.
a gold digger? Because that was a specific question
All
that
right,
they
all
asked.
right.
I just
Let
knew
me.
that.
I'm going to be straight. We can speak honestly here. After you have sex, does she need to go shopping? Does she
I
take
don't.
you shopping and
I,
say, "Oh gosh, I wish I had this. Oh, I really
I
want
didn't get
that bad."
I didn't get a follow up question on that. So
Yeah. I
but
mean,
if she's a gold digger, you're saying that she always wants material possessions? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Things?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Or they could play the long game and just hope to get your family money. Do you have a trust fund? Maybe
Did you
it's
just
not
say
you
the
that.
long game? Did you just say the long game? I've never heard it said like that before.
Oh, I don't
She
know.
could play the long game? No,
I,
I kind of like the way you said that though.
I have
What?
Susan terminology. I don't know that it exists in the real world. I just make stuff up like dirty
You
Harry and
need
all
a
this stuff.
shirt that says that. I should be wearing a shirt that says Susan hashtag Susan terminology.
Well,
I
we
like
call
that.
them
I
Susanisms,
like
because like,
Susanism.
yeah,
Okay. All
I
right.
have words for stuff. Who is it I'm talking to? Somebody right now that I know is concerned because one of their family members has a woman who's definitely in it for the long. She's in the for the long game for this guy's. Oh, I know exactly who it is.
For the
There's a
long
woman.
game. She's
Yeah.
waiting for him to die. I'm just, that's what
No,
popped
no, no,
into
no,
my head.
no.
What do you mean? Long?
Oh, the girl got pregnant. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And she likes the guy. She moved in with him. Somehow, oh, their housing doesn't work out. And, they're just in between. Suddenly they live with you. And then guys get used to having you there and they never kick you out. But she conveniently got pregnant. So, of course, the guy's going to have to
Oh man.
marry her. This guy has massive family money. And it's apparent to everyone but the fellow. And you would think the family would get a hold of it. But she's dug it. She got that baby to get in there to get the family money. Because now
Wow.
she knows. Because listen, alimony is very hard to get nowadays. You could get it in the 20th century, not so much in the 21st. Maintenance, having a baby, you can get that. Yep. So
So
you
the
can get
baby
rid of
is the end. Wow.
the baby's the end, whether you're married or not
Okay.
married.
Wow. That's crazy.
So that's your lock for maintenance. And then, of course, the baby might need 30 or 40,000 a month because we got to put them in good. It just
It goes on and on.
you've got
Okay.
to look at the lifestyle and what's important to them. I've had naive
Okay.
clients who were like buying this girl's shoes to make her happy, and oh God,
Wow. Okay. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to read you a couple. Now, I'm looking at 6 questions that I got for you on the screen, and we're like 3 minutes away from getting to those questions, everybody. So
Okay.
keep them coming in that section that's here in the live, the questions section on your screen. We're going to be getting to those in about 3 minutes. But right now, I've got to give you something that's on the screen. What if you tend to attract people that are a good 10 years younger than you? That's coming from Izzy, from Mystic.
And the problem is,
And I knew you were going to say that. I saw that coming. I saw that.
I know,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going
I
to
mean,
go to the next one. That's a
and
nice
you're
way you answer
20. This is an issue. Okay,
that.
if you're, I mean, you please tell me you're at least 30
Okay.
or
All right.
29.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen, the reality of it is everyone can remember that they had a crush on someone when they were a teeny bopper. So
Oh,
that continues to happen. I say that as a fact of life. It can happen. However, I do need to read you this. You guys feel free to put in a name now, or if not, I'll call everybody Jane or John Doe. So John Doe or Jane says, if you are ugly, you are invisible to all women. Any thoughts on that?
I have to admit, I'm not going to lie to anybody here. Looks
I
count.
know you're not. That's why
Looks
I'm doing
count.
this show with you. But go ahead. Looks count.
What do they do?
What are
I
you
mean,
saying,
you
Susan?
could
What are you
have the most.
saying?
You've got to try to work with whatever you've got to offset whatever you don't have. If you know you're never going to have a body or it's just so challenging for you, try to work on your personality. Try and work on your scholastic skills. Try and become successful. Try and work on your sense of humor. Um, Work on your communication skills. If you are a man, I have something wonderful to share with you. And I think this is unique to most women. Men
Hmm.
are exceedingly visual, but
Yes,
women, we are
absolutely.
visual too, but we
True.
have the ability to fall for a man that we would not be on our radar visually through repeated exposure because he's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Other qualities make the looks more
Yeah.
palpable. Um, you know, there is a lid for every pot. I promise you there is. You just, you have to understand that we have to try. We have to make an effort.
Yeah.
If your teeth are
Yeah.
crooked, try and make an effort.
Yeah.
If your hair needs fixing, get somebody to help you style with your
Right.
clothing and dress. Sometimes it's presentation. There are some exceedingly unattractive men. They happen to be very rich. Therefore, we think they're passable. Put the same guy in some kind of dirty outfit, like he's working on the street someplace,
Right.
and you'd never notice him. You put him in a
It-
suit and put him in
so
Davos, you're
so
like, oh my
he
God, I'm all over that, right?
he's more than passable. Then he becomes a part of the team, the playable team, worth at least checking out. But I got to read something to you now. I'm going to read this to you. This is a posting from you, and I just want to fit it in what you just said right now, because this is something you posted back on August 3rd of this year, and it's a beautiful post. It says, limited tools create limited choices. It says, we are only as advanced as the tools we hold. When the time comes that current issues eclipse our given tool set, we will create new options.
Yes.
This is how we advance as individuals. So essentially, if a guy has very little tools to work with, or a woman, you're saying to expand in areas that you excel in, and don't be so focused that you're not desirable or someone wants you because you're comparing yourself to someone else, but hold what you have, the tools you have, to the best of your ability.
That's quite astute. I never thought of applying it to this direct situation. My concept was the evolution of humanity, but
I got
we
you there.
can,
Yeah.
but and to release ourselves from rigid structures of locked designs of how we have to be in the roles we play to each other. However, your interpretation was beautiful for the analysis for this person. You are lucky if you're a man and you're less than visually beautiful. Okay? If you're a woman,
I
it is
almost
a
know what
whole
you're going
other
to say
story.
before you say it, and I
Yeah,
start laughing.
I know.
That is such
Well,
a Susanism. But go
well,
ahead.
we were separated at birth, Paxton. I don't know what to say there. I
That
am
was good.
adopted. I mean, I'm just
I
saying,
know what you mean.
who
Hey,
knows?
hey,
But
I was told I was adopted. Maybe we were. We were just somewhere. Go ahead. But go ahead.
oh my
You were saying.
God. Okay.
You were saying
So
before we get to everybody else's question here. But go ahead.
I have a figure when
Uh
I was
oh.
26. I
Uh huh.
remember looking at myself. I looked kind of like a Hershey's Kiss, the kind that goes like this. I was 26. And I remember looking in the mirror. We lived in Denver, and my parents did. I never physically lived there. There was a huge mirror in the bathroom that was my
Yeah.
bathroom. And I remember going, God, you're 26. This is as good as it gets. I wouldn't want to be with you. So, like, just looking at you, because I knew how
Oh
visual
my.
guys were. Yeah, honestly, pretty face. But the rest of it, I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And I thought, well, and I remember looking at myself going, well, you got it. You better develop a hell of a personality to offset all this. That's what I remembered thinking. Then I also met a pro bodybuilder, and he kind of started me down the road of
Ah, there you go.
weightlifting and changing my diet and things like that. But I was completely non-athletic,
You were
soft.
non-athletic, but right now, verbally, you're one of the best athletic verbal gymnasts that I've ever met. And I
Thank you.
love doing a show with you because no matter what I throw at you, and I've
Thank
got
you.
more to throw at you because I got to
Okay.
tell you, others are telling you Northern Colorado, Connecticut is here. That's Sherry from. We got Turkey in the house.
Wow.
Um, oh my goodness, others. But I've got to. I told everybody 3 minutes we were getting into these questions, and I
Okay.
wanted to make sure I gave everybody enough time. Now we got 8 of them, so we're gonna delve into them. But a statement from Izzy, she says negativity is the ugliest thing to women. It
Ooh,
breeds
beautiful.
the antithesis of confidence and self assurance. So I just wanted to let you know that that was her thought in regards to
Nice.
men. being negativity is something that's horrible. Someone is sending us a DM. Is sending a woman DMs effective, or does it look desperate? That's from Christopher Johnson. Go ahead and answer that.
A DM
And
out
then
of
I'm gonna,
nowhere, if you
yeah, and then
don't
I'm gonna
know
get to these
her.
questions. Everybody, go ahead.
I mean, listen, people drop DMs in our box that the thing I find most offensive is they don't even follow me, and they write like this much. It's like, really, really, you write like 9 sheets of things, but you don't even bother to follow me. But you can't just drop a DM in somebody's box with no point of reference. Then it looks a little creepy to women. If you've been on Clubhouse with her, or you responded to a post and then you send her a polite DM, say, by the way, I have to tell you, I love your content, or wow,
Yeah,
your workout routine is great. At least have some context around it so you don't look creepy. But to
yeah.
hit somebody up and just go, hi, hey, hi, it's very, women have a natural back off. We've just got it built in because we've had to protect ourselves
Mhm.
from unwanted passes and from men trying to do things to us that we didn't want to have happen. So a
You,
woman
you
will,
get you're getting a load of hearts on the screen as you're talking right now. Go ahead.
women will be far quicker to say no to you than to say
Yeah.
yes. So for all the straight men out there that are, or women that are, well, women already know this for women, but all the straight men out there, have a sense of humanity, and at least warm up the conversation by posting and saying, I don't normally do this. I found you at your feed. I think the photographs
Mhm.
are beautiful. Just wanted to let you know they're very inspiring. Give her something. We love words. Why do you think we talk so much? We
This is
love
this is.
words.
Are you saying then this is why it's important to have communication skills, to be able to linguistically express oneself? I'm laughing because there's jokes coming in my head. I can't tell them right now.
Woo a
Of guys.
woman with
Yeah,
words.
guys,
Woo
guys.
her with words.
Guys, don't be afraid of a dictionary. Let me just put it to you that way. As my dad would say, don't be afraid of a dictionary. Okay. If you want to talk to a woman, and no offense, ladies, same too. Just, it's okay to be able to dig into a man and make him open up. Sometimes you have to say some really heavy words to him and then just wait for it. And eventually he will tell you, his vulnerable parts. And when he does that, you got him. When he's that vulnerable. I've got to get to these questions
Okay.
because we got 8. So here we go.
Okay.
Now remember, anytime I go to these questions, I have no idea what they are,
Oh,
but
I love it. Me too.
I will be editing them as I go because it is a family show. But anyhow, so hold on one second. Here we go. Let's see. When an ex comes back after a year or more, should you give them a chance, or past experience should be enough to stay away forever? Who should
Good.
be given second chances? That's from Romania, is who that's from. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Um, it depends on what happened. If this person left you, dumped you, and hurt you, and they've come back after 2 years with little or no conversation other than occasionally bothering you by keeping the fire alive with a hey, Merry Christmas or whatever, um, you have to really say to yourself, wow, it didn't turn out with anybody else. They're just coming back to,
Uh,
get comfortable and
so
maybe get lucky.
it didn't work with somebody else. You're saying so now they're coming back. Is what
I
you're
don't
saying. Okay.
trust it unless it's so much dependent upon the context and the situation. If you had a really good relationship and something was
Mm,
off, timing, they had a relative, they had a health issue, they had a reason that they couldn't focus on it, you were
yeah.
separated by distance, there's some plausible thing besides the two of you couldn't sort it out. Or let's say they had an addiction, they had a problem. Now they've sorted it out and you love them and you think in your heart of hearts they're a good person. Not you
Mhm.
hope this time they're
Ah,
better.
that's different. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Do not hope this time they're
No
better. You
bueno.
have to
No bueno.
see the transformation.
Okay.
And that,
So, so a consistent pattern that they need to show you, because I have a question for you, but you just answered it, and I like that because they were wondering, the guy that sent it in, uh, he was wondering. Matter of fact, it was an addiction. An addiction. They had
okay,
a gambling. The woman had a gambling addiction. So they had, of course, he's lost a number of things. They've gone back and forth. and he was wondering what you're talking about right now. Should I take her back for like the 15 billionth time? And you make a good point. There should be some type of consistent pattern of change that they have made in order to trust them again.
I lived with a compulsive gambler. It was a 10-year relationship. I didn't know what it was. I mean,
Okay.
I, I I was never exposed to that, so I just thought it was
Mm,
some hobby. I had no idea, and I
mm,
lost money in the process because I
wow.
loaned him money to put into his business, and I didn't know it was going into horse races. And here's the thing about an addiction: is they can have all good intention, but the addiction itself makes you lie to yourself and therefore lie to others. This time
Yeah.
you got it figured out. This time it's okay. It's not going
Yeah.
to be the same again. So my question to you, dear man, why? Why
Uh,
her? Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why her out of all the billions of women in this world? Why are you going back to the one with
interesting.
the problem? If you have a
Interesting question.
child,
That's a
I
great
understand
question.
it. But why? Out of everything, oh, here's the broken toy. Well, now the arm is a little bit mended. Well, I put it away because I know it was bad for me, but now I'm going to. Why? Why do you want to do that? Normally, for a guy, it's like, oh my God, it was the best sex ever. Of course, crazy sex is the best sex ever because of all the volatility. But don't you, I mean, why her? I just have to ask. I believe
Mm,
me. I've been around 12-step programs. I've been in ACOA. I've been in numerous 12-step programs, and my mother was an alcoholic. I mean, I've been around the block here, and I'm all for people getting better. And I know that there are people who, one day at a time,
mhm.
can manage their addiction. But I just want to know why. You need to ask yourself, why do I want her and why do I need her? Knowing the
Well,
problems that I've had that are historic.
When it
Please.
comes when it comes to individuals choosing to spend time with someone for the rest of their life, it's really good to know why they're doing it, which means they would have to know themselves, right? And ask themselves some hard questions, let
Exactly.
alone let alone the other person. We better get to
It's
these other questions that you have here as well too.
your
Let's see here.
relationships are an investment. It is your time and energy. This is why in the beginning it doesn't matter. You got tons of time, tons of energy. As you start to mature in life, you start to realize that Sandal
Yeah,
has less time and less
yeah,
energy. You
that's right.
start getting
That's right.
very discerning on where you're going to
Yep,
put your time and energy.
that's
Okay.
right. Yep, that's right. And not that either one of us would know that, being that we're both 38. Or
Oh,
Jack Benny. Wait, Jack Benny 39. Let me put it that way. All right, I better get
I
to these. Or
actually
they're
turned 40. I know. I'm
okay.
gonna
So
have to admit,
wait a minute, wait a minute. You actually turned 40. That makes me 70. Okay, here we
I'll
go.
be
Here
honest.
we go. So here we go. Hi, Susan. This is from. I'm just gonna call her 88K. Oh wait, no, she had her name there. This is from. I'm gonna just our Megan. Our Megan. Hopefully I did that right. From Vancouver. Please forgive me. It says, how do I stop blaming myself for falling for a narcissistic person? At the same time, I feel I was at fault. Such a roller coaster.
Oh, sweetie. Well, okay. This is your turf. So I'm gonna try and be brief, and then I'd love to hear anybody with a narc abuse. You've got a ton of information. First of all, part of the reason that you feel that it's your problem and that you're guilty is the whole narc thing
Yeah,
going on
yeah,
here. They
hmm,
make you feel guilty for their mistakes.
yeah.
So that's not on you. That's been given to you. I'm going to do a show, and I think I've done a video on forgiving ourselves for loving them. As a matter of fact, that's going to be my
Yes, you have.
next live
Hmm.
show. And Joan Jett had a great song.
Okay.
I hate
Yeah.
myself for
Yeah,
loving
loving.
you.
Yeah.
This happens, okay? It's in your history, it's in your family. I would definitely get into therapy. Forgive yourself for the imprints that you had
Hmm.
no control over as a child. You're seeking approval from somebody that's never going to give it to you. Never.
Yeah.
You're never going to relax. You're never going to feel okay. You're never going to be okay. You are chasing something that's never going to happen. And quite unfortunately, most of our adult life unconsciously is spent trying to change our past from our
Yeah.
family history. And it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. And then if we end up in a relationship with someone who is self-absorbed, haughty, selfish, extremely selfish and self-centered, or in other words, a narcissist, is the common term that's used today. But overall, they were self-centered when they met you. They were self-centered when they projected themselves onto you. They're going to be self-centered when they walk out the door. So when they come back, there's a pretty good chance they're going to be even more self-centered when they come back. So either way it goes, it's not your fault, but it is a learning curve in which you can control. You literally can decide to spend more time and energy on yourself for the next chapter that you're about to write. Hey, don't even look back. Just keep going straight ahead. But Susan, you're absolutely correct. I need to get to the other ones before people get mad at me. So here we go.
Your
Here we
show,
go
they
here.
can get as mad as they
No.
want.
We're tag teaming today. Looks like, hey, wait a minute. Okay, so it says, can you tell me how to move on? He still wants to see me. Wait, hold on. She's got a follow up to that. I'm just gonna edit this. He cheated on her. Let's see what else. dating 13 weeks. I said to him, I love you. He doesn't feel the same. I want to let him go. Am I doing trying? Is she doing the right thing by trying to hold on to what I just read to you? You're up, Susan. All yours, my friend.
So I'm going to think that you're kind of young in dating and love and romance.
Now, what would make you say that?
Because she's in love in 12 weeks. That's not love. I know it feels like love. I know it feels like
What would you call it? Well, if you were going to tell her right
That would
now.
be question number one that you asked.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. That's why I started there.
Yeah, so it's okay, sweetie. For you, it is a real emotion. And it's accumulative. This may be the greatest attraction you've had to date. So, of course, you're going to use the word love, right? But it's not real love. If you just started dating somebody, I don't think you were in a formal relationship where he committed to be your boyfriend. So he cheated on you. He's not done looking. I think you're fairly young young to dating. Okay. I would keep moving. He wants you now because you rejected him. So that's the game. He's very attractive.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, if I was telling my daughters that and they told me that, I said, let me tell you how this goes.
Yeah.
You told him no.
Yep.
Or you gave him some sensation that it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, okay, I got to get her back because there's a pretty good chance I'm just locker room talk that goes on. Guys will go like, okay, get her back. And there's a 75% chance that you're going to get dumped because he's going to hold on for a little bit and then he's going to dump you because he has to feel he needs to win. But that doesn't mean it applies to him. Maybe he's 1 in a trillion. And if that's the case, you will find out. But waiting doesn't hurt. Working on yourself and waiting doesn't hurt. But you make a good point. Too fast. Infatuation.
Let's note for everybody here the takeaway. When you resist somebody because they're really not stepping up and leveling up to where you are, and you notice that now they want you even more, you should be so like red flag. That means now
lights going off.
You've increased in value because you don't want them. That means they love game. They'll tell you no, especially here's the thing. Everyone I ever met that goes, I hate game, I don't play, I hate game. They're the biggest game players. They don't know they're playing game. It's instinctive.
First one to play a game. First one to play a game, right?
Exactly.
Why is that, Susan? Seriously though, why is that?
I think they've grown up with it. They don't know. They don't know what real interaction is. They only know this
the push and pull, the breakup and makeup. That was actually another one of the questions, but you just answered that as well. Somebody wanted to know how do I end this cycle of makeup breakup? And they've been together for decades. It was a few questions like that. One person, she had been with the guy for decades, and it's like, one morning they're in love, and then he comes home from work and he hates her, and he wants to go get a hotel room, and she wants to, it's just what you're saying is
mental illness there. There could be
there's usually more to it than
Yeah.
one partner is trying to have a relationship and the other partner is either playing a game or there may be other factors in play.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you say? Let me get to another question that we have here for you. Let's see here. We did that one. We did that one. Okay, so here we go. I edit these as I go, everybody. I love each and every one of you, but it is a family show. Hi, Susan. I just went to Paris as a third date with a guy.
Oh,
It was
wow.
it was amazing. The chemistry was off the charts. A week later, he said he really likes me, and he had fun too, but he doesn't feel it's enough for him for a real relationship. We live in different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, I'm heartbroken, help.
Mm.
That's from Cinnamon.
Ah,
Oh, excuse me, Cinnamon Bun 1. Go ahead.
I have well, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, but I have a feeling that he just doesn't want to do the distance thing. And so that shows me that as much as you felt for him, if he wants something easier, a girl around the block, he doesn't want, so he's not willing to put effort into it. The
So
guy,
what's the word for that? You asked my
lazy,
input. I'm gonna stick.
lazy,
Yeah, there you go.
convenient.
That's the word I
So
was gonna tell you. Yeah, when I
And
read
and
that. Go
and
ahead.
here's the thing: if you moved and lived 2 blocks away, he still wouldn't put effort into
I
it.
was gonna say he would still be lazy. You got me. I high five from a distance. I was gonna say same thing. It does not matter what you do. If you told him to take the trash out, he would want to fight with you and walk out because you told him to, and he's lazy. So if you would probably find out he wears the same clothes undergarments over and over because it's too much work for him. It's just some
So,
guys can be really lazy.
well, all of us can, but so what we are trying to look for is a person's disposition. What is
Absolutely.
their inherent natural disposition? And especially if you are looking for a meaningful relationship, do they apply effort in the relationship? Most everybody on here is contacting us because the person that they want is not giving them the effort they need. So you're trying to jostle it
Yeah.
into place,
Yeah.
but half the time it's just the
Yeah.
person you're working with,
You,
right?
you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip, as my dad would say. So
Yeah,
you're trying to get something that you can't. Once they show you they don't want to make the effort,
yeah.
that's the best gift that they could give you.
Lazy. And
Yeah,
they
it's the
can
best
love
gift.
you and be
Oh
lazy.
no,
My
they
girlfriend,
could love your qualities. Yeah, they could
oh,
love your qualities immensely because they haven't had better up to
yeah,
that point.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when it comes to some more questions, I've got to throw this in. I'm going to get to those on the screen in a second, but I've got this other screen here. Gary Harris 19 says this to you, Susan. Susan, what is your opinion on negative self-talk? I've met quite a few people in dating who doubted themselves and lost faith in the possibility of experiencing love due to their past circumstances and relationships. So negative self-talk. What's your opinion on it? Gary wants to know.
I know Gary because he shows up for the live show. You're on the money. Just listening on Clubhouse this morning, this guy was playing Dale Carnegie, How to Think and Grow Rich,
Mm.
and he's talking about what you have to tell yourself every day, and all of our constructs with cognitive therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy
Mm.
teaches us that what we think
Yeah,
is what we believe. So, for
yeah.
example, a gal comes in and she's had 3 guys cheat on her. You're the
Hmm.
4th guy. You are screwed.
Yeah, you're
Unless
done.
she's like, okay, my past does not have to be my present and it does not have to be my future. And I am working hard and I am going to trust you. But most people are not there. So you've got to overcome what 3 guys have done before you. And it's just hard because she has a belief system that
Yeah.
says all men cheat. So
You're
Gary,
gonna
you're
you're
on the
gonna you're
money.
gonna you're gonna rob the bank. You're gonna rob the bank, and he's hearing that every day. You're gonna rob the bank, and eventually
Great.
he's gonna rob the bank. And she goes, "See, I told you. You're exactly like it." And he's going like, "I never even had it cross my mind." And so no
Exactly.
matter, it's a circle conversation because whatever that negativity from the past was, eventually it becomes a reality in the present and future. But anyhow, I have to tell you, Kate here is agreeing with you. She says, yes, you have to take someone for who they really are, not for their potential. So I just wanted to throw that in. Wait a minute. I've got to ask you this now. Somebody's typing here 88K. Oh, wait. That's Armagan. Says, it reminds me of your empty bus story. in New
Oh,
York. What is
yeah, yeah,
that all
yeah, yeah,
about,
yeah.
Susan? What's
Okay,
an
so
empty?
these are great stories. I love this. I try to use stories so that people can get an idea what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Um,
right.
in the 80s, it was so dangerous to ride the subway, slashing, murders. I mean, so
Okay.
everybody went above ground. And when you couldn't get a cab, you waited for the bus. And so I'm
Okay.
waiting on 8th Avenue. I can see that the bus, people are crammed in there like this. They're screaming at each other. And everybody's clamoring to go in there and they're all mad and pissed off. And then I kept thinking, okay, I can do this, or I can just wait till the next bus. So this is what we think about people like, oh my God, if I don't get it, there'll never be another one. I'll never, never, never. This has to be the one. I'm so tired. It's
Right.
so much work. And then if we just go, wait a minute, I'm not getting on that thing. This is too crazy. I'm going to wait. There will be
I
another
love it.
bus. There's
I
going to be
love it.
another bus. And that bus is empty. It's got 4 people. They're chilling. They're relaxed.
You got elbow room. You got
Yes.
elbow room. You can
Yes.
breathe. And you were trying to get in on that cramp thing, and it's
Yes.
like, hey, you people better stop that now. I'm gonna
And
go
then you're thinking,
I'm gonna go ghetto therapy on you. You better stop all that trying to chase people that
yeah.
don't want you. Okay, and
And
if it's a narc, trust me, they don't want you. They just want to use you. All right, so I'm gonna get something here off the screen. We're gonna go back there, and I am gonna read this to you. Hi, Susan. This is Simone from Bulgaria.
hi,
Okay, it says.
Simone.
I appreciate the effort and time you dedicate to all of us. That's for you, Susan.
Oh,
Says thank you sincerely. And it looks like that. Oh, I'm gonna tear that up. It looks like a heart or something there. It says I have the following question: should I sacrifice my hobbies for my relationship? Some call this a compromise. Is this it? So that's a good one.
oh, no. Well, why is it an either or question? I'm very confused.
Yeah.
Unless your hobby is that you're a professional golfer and you've got to be gone 5 hours every day and your
Robbing
partner's
banks, maybe,
unhappy.
or yeah,
Yeah, or I don't
murdering
know.
people. Yeah.
Uh, why? So why is your partner against you having this hobby? And
Yeah.
why are they not like on board with you? Because a real partner that you should keep, uh, what is it, Belgobadia? What's the word for thank you or hello? Go, because I was just in Bulgaria. You'd think I'd
Oh,
remember.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But they would
Uh,
say thank you, essentially.
I think, well, yes, yes. And
How
it was
you
like
say the word?
Bogo Daria, or something like that. I'm sure
Somebody
she's
help
been
us
telling.
out there. Somebody help
Yeah,
us out.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, but why is this a conflict? What is it about your partner? You know, there are women who don't want their boyfriend to go to the gym because they don't want him to
Yeah,
look
I've
good.
heard
They don't
that.
want him to see
I've
other
heard that.
gals.
Yeah,
They don't want people
yeah,
to want him. It's like the guy that wants to
yeah,
keep his wife home and doesn't want her to go to work because he
yep.
doesn't want
Heard that.
to have
Yep,
anybody come after her.
yep, yeah,
Why is it an issue? I mean, if it takes 20 hours out of every day, maybe I can understand. But
yeah.
are you telling him how often he can work for his career?
Or take a shower, or
Yeah.
or eat. You know, a hobby can be the very thing that keeps a person ignoring the other person's imperfections. It can be the very thing in a relationship that keeps them busy enough so they're not sitting there going like, you know what, you really annoy me when you do that. But instead they go like, you know what, I'll be over here in the other room. I'm gonna get my crocheting out. My daughter and I, one of my daughters is here, my other one's on vacation, and we're here and we watched this movie last night or night before last. Anyhow, the movie, this poor woman was taking care of her man, her husband. He was a cripple. She's taking care of him, and he was mean. She got a jury summons to go. She was so ecstatic to go sit on a jury every day just to get away from him, just to get. But we were laughing because it's amazing how people can not see that they're smothering someone
Yes.
else or not allowing them to breathe, and that sounds like a situation she was getting into. There's so much more happening. We're not going to ignore everybody, but we want you to know we will be back next week. Susan, everybody's writing different things to you.
Well,
Thank you.
you know,
Yes.
everybody who thinks they have a certain question that's never going to get answered, just please listen, because if you really, somebody is going to ask some
Yep.
version of what you
Absolutely.
want to know. That's what happens in these long form things. So while you think,
Yes.
it's unique, but Yeah.
Yes. What is the ego game? Have you ever heard? I mean, somebody's talking about an ego in their ego, ego.
Hmm.
The ego game. Can the ego get in the way of love flourishing?
Of course. Well, ego is when you want to win. You've kind of, at this point, you hate your partner because they're driving you so crazy, but you put so much into it, you just want to win. Or you want to get them back because now you dumped them and now there was somebody else, and wow, they're like, they look a little bit better. And now he or she finds them attractive, and now you want back what you threw away. So that's ego.
Wow. Wow. Now, Salvatore says, I love you, Susan. Always and forever, the light you bring with a heart. And you know, Susan, I don't know how many times you're getting proposals during these shows.
Salvatore. I don't
We
know
had
which. I have a very dear Salvatore, and I don't know whether this is that man, but I have a very special
Salvatore.
Sal.
Yeah, I think this is the same. I think he was here before. You know, we had over 300 some odd people the last show. We went almost 2 hours, and we're no doubt going to get to that the same. There's so much. I'm sorry. I'm going through a few things here. I just got to read you this one before I read some more off the screen. It says, "I'm heartbroken. I need someone. I want to be loved because I'm bored in the house." That's coming. That's coming. I'm sorry. I tried to say it without laughing. That's the name. So
No,
hey,
no,
that's
no,
from
no, no. We can
Shamil.
fix this. Okay.
Shamil in the UK, I believe. If I've said that correctly, please forgive me if I said it wrong. That's the straightforward. That's what we get here when you and I are together. Straightforward. There's a lot
I
of people
love
who
it.
talk about relationships, but
Okay.
I like having you on because you're straightforward. So have at it.
This is Shamil in the UK, right?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay. First, maybe it's a woman. So listen, the worst place you could be is to be bored and then want to import somebody to give you a life force. Only because, well, a couple of reasons. You don't have your own life, and two, then you will be their creature. If like Bobby is so exciting and you think being with Bobby is going to be it and he's going to love you and make you happy and give you all this stuff, imagine if Bobby walks out of your life. Horrible. Worse than where you are now, because now you've actually lost the taste. You got to experience something. Now you're going to never have it again, you think. So, in order to really date well and be successful and feel grounded and safe, we
Hmm.
do need to like ourselves, and we need to try to develop as much as we can within ourselves so that we're going to be so compelling they would never want to leave us.
Wow.
So if
Wow.
you're bored, I would ask you, what do you love? Maybe you haven't, it's putting so much pressure on a person to import excitement to us. They're just a human being. They're not that exciting. When you get to know them, they've just got issues like you do, right? They just look shiny because you don't know them, right?
Are we related in some kind of way
I
besides just maybe
think,
when everything
I
was
think so. Well,
created,
we
Adam
look
and Eve?
alike, don't
Because
we?
you said exactly what I was thinking, and you said it, and I'm going like, how did she do that? Is she in here? How much power does Susan actually have?
Telepathic.
Okay, so here we go. I guess somebody's agreeing with you on what you just said because earlier, the roots of empathy, Tim, he wrote this. Thank you, Tim, for being here, a regular follower of the shows and our guests. Learn to stay alone. Learn to know yourself, your true self, he says. No comparing to others. Be honest to yourself. Then you can search for a partner and trust your gut,
Oh, I love
feelings,
it.
and decisions. And then he puts period, the word period, and then period. He puts, so what a beautiful statement. He's agreeing with you as well, Susan.
When I looked in the mirror at 26 at this, like, you know what I mean by Hershey's Kiss. I would have been a white Hershey's
You are
Kiss,
just,
right?
you know what?
Like,
You know, a lot of people like kisses, and a lot of people like white Hershey kisses. Okay,
okay, all right,
so we just, you
okay.
know what? So we're gonna give you a new name now. We're just gonna back then and now to the day, you're still white chocolate. So we just,
Okay, I
we
love
just
white
white chocolate.
chocolate.
Okay,
I
so
love
there you
white
go.
chocolate.
All
Okay,
right, go ahead.
so
Go ahead.
I looked at myself and I realized that the number one thing a man would want would be physique. And it's like, I hated running. I didn't want to jump. I mean, I played with adults and dogs and horses. I mean, I didn't have playmates. I didn't have brothers and sisters. I thought, oh my God. So I looked for what could I develop.
Okay.
The developing ourselves is a guarantee that we will enjoy living with ourselves, and a
Okay.
pretty good qualifier that somebody else will find us interesting.
Wow.
Because the more that we
Yeah.
put into our bank, for
Hmm.
those that have a clean mirror, not a dirty mirror, they should be able to see and go, oh my God, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got to
No,
put the britches in here, yeah?
so I have a question. So if they don't have a dirty mirror and
Yeah.
they see us,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean then that a person is going to recognize that someone else actually appreciates us? Or will we sometimes maybe not give ourselves credit to recognize that this person thinks we're amazing?
Somebody may think we're amazing, and we might just say, oh, thank you. It might not be a romantic match, but sometimes we don't even realize what we are. There are people that are humble, there are people that are
Yes. No.
delusional,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Okay. That's true too. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty good. You need to do a video on that too. Delusional and the humble. I gotta
Yeah.
read this. I gotta read this to you here. No, I'm gonna go back up here because they just keep coming in up here, so I'm not gonna ignore everybody. Here we go, Susan. Another one for you. Hi, Susan. Is going no contact and radio silence the best thing to do to change someone's mind after a breakup? That's coming from Aaron Spark. Aaron Spark wants to know, is no contact and radio silence the best thing to do to change someone's mind after a breakup? I assume change their mind to come back. I'm just going to give him that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's game. And if they didn't value you the first time and they broke up with you, yes, you will look more interesting because you're pushing them away. This goes back to our former conversation.
Yes, correct. Hmm.
But when they come back, you're going to have to let that guard down and be yourself again. And they don't want that. So, uh, you know, maybe I'm of the school to move forward at least. The thing is, you may go radio silent, but I guarantee you're going to be checking your phone. Like, are they thinking about me? Looking at their Instagram page, trying to follow them, see what they're doing. So if you're not free, they will only find you truly magnetic when you really don't give a damn. You've just walked forward and you find somebody else more
Yeah,
exciting. Then they're going to be
yeah,
like, oh my God, I lost you. But
yeah,
the whole whimsical nature of that, it's not a good setup. It's not for the real thing.
yeah. The real thing is the key because that's kind of how you
Yeah,
started the conversation when we talked about
right.
infatuation. You lean into the real thing because sometimes people can be chasing, as it were, a dream or a fantasy or a Disney creation and not
Yep.
recognize that they really have given their energy to somebody who does not care about them. So much more happening, and I got to get to it. By the way, I just got to throw this into you here. This is let's see the name here. Oh, I passed it up. Here we go. Give me a second. Wild Zeppelin. Wild Zeppelin. I'm just going to answer in Susan's behalf. We both, yes. From the last show, I highlighted that there were things, technically three things, that fundamentally men focus on. And when a woman taps into those,
Yes.
you will literally be in his gray matter. It will be very hard for him to function, let alone forget you, even if you moved on or he decided to attempt to move on. But we'll get to those. They keep highlighting, please don't forget to answer the thing about men. And I'm not. I've seen your constant statements here. I haven't ignored you. It's just that I was getting to everybody else. I will mention that before we end the show today. I do want to talk about Jabu 65. And I'm just going to read this to you, Susan, and you could take it whatever direction you want to go in. She writes this. I have just left my partner of 7 years. He withdrew his affection from me for the last 10 months of this year. I asked him why. He said that it was my fault. I asked him to leave a few days later. There's a lot of conversation there, of course, we were not privy to. But then she also says he was beyond angry. I felt that I was going crazy since he has left. Things have been moved. Just in an overall statement, feel free to tackle that one.
We don't know what his issues are. So
There you go. Yeah.
I know that there's limited space for you to write, and I know that this is not an ideal environment to really do like
Correct.
personal coaching, but he didn't communicate why he's angry. And so he's holding a resentment, and I don't think you understand what it is. And how are you supposed to fix it? You're not telepathic. He's angry,
Yeah.
you're upset. He's got to tell you, you did this, you did this, you didn't do that. You did. So there has to be a talk out.
Yeah.
So I think that I think you, I would approach him if you want him back or you at least want clarity. I would say, I think that you owe us a conversation. You're mad, you're mad at me, and I do not know why. If I've done
Yeah.
something truly despicable, I'd like to hear it because if it's really hurtful and I didn't see it, I want to apologize. And if it's something that is misinterpreted, I need to explain it. We can go our
Yeah.
separate ways, but let's
Mhm.
clear this because it's been enough time that we owe it to each other to have an honest communication. I don't know that he will, but that helps your resolution and you moving forward.
It is it is amazing how many times we can do something or try to put something together and get the instructions, and if somebody leaves out part of the communication in the instructions, we're at a disadvantage to make a complete cabinet. I love to cook. I love to cook, so I hate to get a recipe, and if part of it is missing, which that doesn't happen, but if it did, now I'm up to
Yeah.
I gotta fake it to try to make
Yeah.
it. Well, people do that in their relationships too. There are recipes in every relationship. You just got to know who you're dealing with, and you find out what makes them tick. But sometimes people don't want to communicate. Now it's speculation, and that's what you and I are doing with that statement. But
Right.
we would love you. We love you, Jabu 65, for doing that. But it puts you in a position where you're saying what you've just said. You're being, am I? In other words, she's asking, am I being paranoid? I will get
Not
paranoid
being
if I don't have a
paranoid.
complete recipe. I mean, you could start to look
Yeah.
a lot of different. You'll speculate yourself right into a grave. Just communication is the best way to go, and not everybody wants to do it. You can't control that, but Susan's giving you some really good things to think about. If you can't have a communication and a sit down, an adult conversation, the same way you would on a job before
Exactly.
they fire you or hire you, there's a sit down conversation. And so if that's for money, if it's for a lifelong commitment, you should be able to have a sit down just like you would for a job.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
hey,
right.
most people sit down on the toilet to handle that business. So you should be able. I'm sorry, I got crude
Yeah.
there. Let me
No,
give you
yeah,
some more
that's
here when you get a chance. I mean, we get a chance here. I hate to do that. We're gonna keep moving here, but we got okay. Here we go. Let's see who we got here. How to date in COVID world. It has
okay.
become much easier for a guy to set the first date over his place. Um, how can you essentially stay safe and meet people? I'm assuming is what she's asking when it comes to having a lifelong commitment in COVID world. Do you deal with COVID on your show?
We,
I know I
I
don't
did a
much.
year ago, but we don't so much now because
Yeah,
in the United States, you have the option to have, the vaccine. Now,
yeah.
this might be important to those of you that do not have access to the vaccine or you do not want to be vaccinated. In which case, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you would need to know their status, where they are in both the vaccination, how many shots, and if they need a booster. And you're going to have to make smart choices. I
So
mean,
so I give them a smart choice. Get some popcorn, get some pizza, get a Subway sandwich, get a Jersey Mike's, get some ice cream, and sit at home and mind your business until it's all over. No, just
okay,
so,
all right, okay.
so, I'm
Well,
just
you
kidding.
can
Right.
certainly
It could
see each
cost
other.
you your life.
People did not stop. I mean, people were breaking lockdown, people were hooking up, there were sex clubs here in New York. There was all sorts of stuff. People needed
Family show.
intimacy. They
Family
needed,
show.
okay, there were all sorts of things going on in New York where people found a way to connect with others. And I think that what happens is you're going to have to make your own decision. This is kind of like not such a hot topic for most
No,
of
it's
the
not.
world right now.
No,
So
it's not.
it's got to
It's
be
not.
for
Yeah,
you because of either
yeah,
decisions you've made or where you
yeah.
live.
I wanted to make sure to get as many questions in as possible. Anne is saying, I don't know what part, but she's highlighting a great question. Thank you, Anne, for being here. I'm gonna do this. I have a whole lot more to read to you, but I want to do something here. Make sure I get everybody here. Okay, so the pack coach says, "Dear Susan, how to not convert dating experience into therapy session."
How
Uh,
much do you reveal to your partner? I mean, there's sharing, there's getting to know each other. You're not there to correct and change. I do have a friend who kind of therapizes, or whatever you want to call it, her partners, and I think it must drive them crazy. And I know she's had a
uh,
ton of therapy, but man, if you want to turn somebody off, all you need to do is start to correct their psychology and point out all their problems.
the family
Oh
tree,
my
and the
goodness.
generational trauma that they've been through, and to break down
Oh,
the
oh,
the 15 different steps that you need to keep in mind so that you can move beyond what your mom and dad did to you, and they go on and on and on. Yeah. Well, what
it's
is your
not
advice
their
then? What is your advice to this person who is a coach themselves?
it, if they're doing it to you, tell them I have a therapist. Thank you. We can talk about the things that affect our direct relationship. And
Send
if
me the
you're
bill.
trying to, I know,
Send me
if
the
you're
bill.
trying to fix them, this person is a coach themselves and a therapist. Is that what you said?
Not a therapist, but they're a coach, a life coach as well.
Hey, look at they. It's like if I marry a divorce lawyer, I knew what I was getting into, right? Like it is what it is. So, they're with a life coach. You are obviously, I mean, how can you not see certain things?
Your life is going to be examined. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes. I mean, they signed up for that. That's kind of what you do. It's going to be hard for you to not fiddle around and
Yeah,
try and help them. So
like being with a
the
police
two,
officer, right?
yeah, the two of you have to decide is where is the line between I'm your partner who loves you and trying to suggest something for your betterment, and now
Yeah,
this is disagreeable information that feels makes you feel pressured and anxious.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a tough situation. It's like, oh my goodness, when you live with a pro bodybuilder, there can't be any food in the house. I mean, I'm sure that they do it, but I didn't. You
I
know,
never saw that coming.
well,
That's a really good analogy. I like the way you.
I
That's true
lost so
though.
much weight just trying to have a clean house for my partner. And then I had a friend stay overnight, and he said he was ready to go eat the dog food. There were no carbs in the
There was
house.
no
He
food
said,
in that. Yes,
I said, it's
that's,
like, don't
that's
you
a
have,
good one.
you got
That's pretty
eggs and
good.
lettuce and
That's
oh
pretty
my
good.
God.
That's knowing your partner there, because if you should know what you're signing up for. If that partner is
Yeah.
if your husband or wife is going to be a bodybuilder, you should know you're going to have a very interesting food bill, and it's gonna, yeah, a lot of stuff. Ann Crosby says, I am having a booster soon and thinking about dating again. And I'm just, you're a regular to the show. I don't. How do you have time to even see anyone else? I thought you were only watching our show. But anyhow, all right. She's saying she is glad to hear that question concerning the shot. I make sure I got everybody there. I've got to tell you this: we have gone 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I have enjoyed myself. But I cannot let you go. I was going to do 2 sessions, but we are going to. I need time to get ready for next week, everybody. So we're not going
Okay.
to stay all day with you now. But there are some that I got that I have to read to you now.
Okay.
And okay, you should not say okay. They're really.
Well,
I had to do some digging to to weed
oh,
out
you're
certain
you're
things.
trying to get some tough ones for me. I know. That's all right.
Yes,
I
I
like
am.
that.
I actually am.
No, I like
I
that. We
I
hear all the main stuff. It's fun to get stuff that people go,
okay.
"Oh my God, I can't believe they asked that."
I want to get into this aspect that somebody wrote about. Um, 2 things real quick. You could take it as one question or 2 separate statements. You could tackle them. Being desperate and settling.
Very
So
good
I kind of
question.
lumped them together. So
It's great.
I don't know,
It's great.
it's your forte, but how to not look desperate, and how can I tell if I'm settling? So I just kind of lumped questions together. So what do you say? What do you say, boss?
Um, I'm going to try to be brief. We need to know reasonably and honestly with ourselves what our options are. There are times that I know people have settled. I know they've settled, and they know they've settled. But you know what they settled for? The one
What?
that they could have. They wanted something. There wasn't
Uh,
a lot of choice. There just wasn't either in their environment or that
so
wanted them, and they made the best choice. And in that way, it's not settling. It is an active choice. Being
wait,
desperate.
it's they're not settling in their mind, but everyone else can see they're settling. Is that what you're saying? So to them, they're saying,
What
"I
they
made the best
wanted,
choice."
what they wanted was not possible.
Got it. Okay.
Either there was something about them that was less appealing, that they were not the top of the charts. They may have wanted a certain kind of partner.
Got it.
Like a lot of guys want a Playboy model or a swimsuit girl. And maybe they're not going to get a 10. Maybe they're going to get a 7 or a 6 that loves them and is fabulous and brilliant
Hey,
and whatever.
that's a whole show we need to do separately because I got my opinions on that. But go ahead, because I got 2 daughters and I think they're 12s. But go ahead.
I'm sure they are. If you
Yeah,
raise
okay,
them,
but go
I
ahead.
bet they
Good.
are.
But go ahead. You were gonna say.
Desperate is where we take anything we can get, and that is true settling. Desperate means I'm so bereft of feeling that I can get anything, that I'll take
Wow.
anybody who will love me, right? And then you will suffer for settling.
I
It
was
is
gonna
better
say
to be
that
alone.
opens up a whole set of problems because if they are mentally disordered or a number of their family tree, wow. And then if you have children with them and it could be a mess by being desperate, is what you're saying. But
Oh,
settling is, go ahead, please.
there's desperate, and you
Yeah,
choose something that you know is not good for you because you just take it
got it.
because you're afraid there's no other bus. You just grab it because you want to
Yeah,
get it. And that's not going to be to your benefit. And it will feel wrong. It'll feel kind of horrible inside when you do it. And then there is making a reasonable and rational choice given all the options that you had. And you
hmm,
may have wanted something a little bit better, but when you really
yeah.
look at this, where do we stop gambling when we have a partner? What's enough? Right?
Where do we stop gambling? What
Do
risk?
we right? Do we throw 80% in going, I'm gonna give up 80 because maybe I can get 85? I mean, maybe Jeff Bezos can do that. Maybe, maybe
Uh,
Giselle
well,
Bundchen can do that. But
yeah.
I mean, like, or Brad
Not
Pitt or
even
something. You know what I
no,
mean? Like,
not even them because when it comes right down to it, they still have to go to bed at night, put their head to a pillow, and they know when they've settled, regardless of what's in their bank account or what movie script they're reading.
you know what I'm
And
saying?
yeah, yeah, it's
People have
pretty.
these fanciful ideas of what they think their partner should be with outer
Right.
trappings. And if you find somebody who loves you, who's good to you, that you think is interesting, that you think makes a good mate, this
Yeah.
may just be, you might think you're settling because, oh, he should have been a
They don't have
doctor.
this, they don't have this,
Yeah,
they
he's
don't
5'7" instead of
five
5'10".
nine. Yeah, right,
Right?
right. Yeah.
So we may
Hey,
think we're settling,
hey,
but we
that would be
actually,
crazy. That would be crazy if they're thinking the same thing when they're with us.
I bet
They're
they
going
are.
like, and now both are saying it,
Yeah.
and it's like would you say if they're good to you, it's somebody that you find interesting, maybe a little shorter, or maybe a little pudgier, maybe a
Yeah.
number of things, there may be a Hershey's Kiss,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're worth it because they have something to give back. So if a person brings something to the table and it's not what you expect, you're saying don't think that you should say no because there may be something there.
Yeah, love comes in surprising boxes. And
Wow.
do you think I ever thought I'd be here now? I was done. I was playing golf. I was like done. I had my career
Wow.
in finance and in television and stuff, so I was done.
Yeah.
But I met somebody who was younger, and I fell madly in love, and it kind of kicked me into this. And that's not the package I was looking for. That
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
the ride I
It
expected to
wasn't
get on.
wasn't the
But I
right.
got
But
on it, and I committed to it, and a number of things happened because of it.
yeah.
So what our society may tell us, or our parents or our friends may tell us we should want, this is the distinction I want. Are you settling because somebody else is telling you what you should have, or are you settling because you really know that that person isn't leveled up to where you are, and you know that it's going to be a suboptimal relationship? Those are two very different distinctions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have landed where you are now, and that doesn't mean with us here, but mainly because you are Susan. You are SEW. You sew everything together. Susan E. Winter puts things together for people so they can get a perspective. That's what I like about you.
Yeah, are you just
So
saying that, or are you reading that? Is that you?
I'm
Is
telling
that
you
you,
that. Yeah, that
Debbie?
is
Oh,
me.
that's so sweet.
That's my
Thank
heart and
you,
my mind.
Paxton. Oh,
Oh,
thank
okay.
you,
All right. No,
Paxton.
no,
That's so
I'm not
sweet.
reading that. No, that was for me. No, I
Oh,
just thought, oh, I just
okay.
thought about that. Yeah, I can see where you're saying that because I have my head down. But no, that's
Okay.
what I think and feel about you
Oh, thank
because
you.
you literally, that's why I always love saying Susan E. Winter
Oh.
because in my mind, I think of the word SEW. So you
Yeah,
sew
yeah, yeah.
things together for people.
Oh,
But I have to tell you, Laura Harris London says, thank you, Susan. You are wonderful. Love
oh.
all your advice. And she gets, you two hugs there. She's from London, UK. I just want to give that. She's given that to you. Uh, thank you, Wild Zeppelin. Thank you. I'm. You know what? I might have to screenshot that. She just said, "Oh my God, you're the cutest dad." Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. But Ann Crosby is agreeing with you. She says, "So true. Take it slowly." Isn't that what you said at the beginning? Thank you, Ann, for
Yeah,
saying that. And
yeah.
that seems to be what people need to keep in mind, all of us, when we're interacting with people, whether it be for business, any relationship. Taking it slowly means we have a measure to see what's coming and what we're dealing with. But when a person doesn't want to take it slowly, then that is, now correct me, Susan, now, because you're the expert. So that's not real love if they can't take it slowly. Is that what you were telling us at the beginning, per se?
Well, yes, perhaps that is the case, and I think you're correct. And I also think that rushing something implies an agenda.
Oh, okay. Fist bump, high five, whatever, from elbow, whatever. Okay. That implies an agenda.
Hmm.
Everybody, please hold on to that. Please hold on to that. That is such good information. That is so true because they're trying to get somewhere or get something in
From you.
return or from you. Okay.
They're
All right.
trying to rush you. You know that? Okay, so you know the sales technique. Okay, you got to do it now because we're
Yeah. Yeah.
closing out. This
Yeah.
offer is going to be done. So they're getting you off your pace. And I did a video a long time ago. Now, you guys, I have 600, so I'm going to try and remember the titles as best as I can. But it's about new relationships and pace. And it's why new relationships fail, because sometimes the pace, they get you off your pace. There is a normal pace for opening, not so slow that you're frustrated, you
Yeah.
can't
Right.
get
Yeah.
a connection,
Trying to
but
figure out what's going on. Right.
you want to try and keep your balance in the excitement of rushing toward a partner. And yes, you're going to, be excited and want to see them, but you don't want to have it be so fast that you lose yourself, because the faster it comes in, the faster it's going to go out. You need to do the groundwork, right? Build the foundation.
Matter of fact, Lizzie 805 is interesting. You opened up my mind by your statement that you just made concerning an agenda. Lizzie 805 says this: wow, rushing is an agenda. What an eye-opening. Thank you. That's what she just told you. See, I
Good.
told you, you sew things
Yeah, but it's
together.
just off the top of my
You
head.
just,
If you ask me what I said
it's
20 minutes
okay.
from now, I don't even remember.
It's
People will say, "Can you repeat that?" I'm like, "I don't know what I said." Yeah,
it could have came from your pinky toe. It's still good.
it did. It came
If it
from my
came all
pinky
the way
toe,
up, it came all the way up.
my
That's still good.
prophetic
Okay,
pinky
so
toe.
you're prophetic. Okay, I got a few more for you, and then everybody, we love you, but we've got an hour and a half thereabouts, and Susan's getting low on water, and I don't want to talk her to death, but let me see something else here that I want to read to you. You're getting a thank you, by the way, from Mama Riku. Is telling you thank you for helping with the show here.
Oh,
What does a man mean when he breaks up with you and says it's not you, it's me and you deserve better.
Oh God.
That comes from Shanti and Golden Oscar Payne. There you go.
I did a video on when they say you deserve better. Okay? And I'm
I haven't
you're the
seen that one.
man.
I got to check it out.
Well,
Oh, I've got something to say for this one. Trust me. But go ahead.
I
Go
know
ahead.
you do. Why don't I start with you first? You're the guy.
Okay.
Let's hear it from a man.
Here we go. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to pull this back up and I'm going to read this. I'm going to read it to you what you wrote. Okay. He breaks up. That's one thing with you. He breaks up. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as if we were doing a recipe now. Let's just do it in reverse. He breaks up with you. He says it's not you. That's the second part of this recipe. It's a recipe. If everybody just looks at it as a recipe, don't think it's happening to you if you're a female and this happens. Look at this as if you're looking at instructions on how to do something. Okay? So 1, break up with them. 2, tell them it's not you. 3, it's me. 4, you deserve better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if someone takes the time, and I'm asking everyone if you could do this right now, just write out what I just said. 1, he breaks up with you. Just write it out. 2, he then says, it's not you. 3, he says, it's me. 4, you deserve better. If you write that out and read it in reverse, he's telling on himself. This is what happens. Now remember, if I read the question back to everyone, the question, I'm sorry if I've been covering Susan's face while I have the question up.
Great.
The question was, what does a man mean? Because you're looking at it from your perspective as a woman. But if you go left brain on the question, left brain on what he did, and you take everything he says and put it in reverse, you're going to go like, you know what? He's a jerk. You're going to go like, wait a minute. He just told you, and he's extremely honest without being honest. I'm not good enough for you, is what he's saying. And technically, it's really me. It's not you. And I got to get out of here. That's exactly, if you wrote all 4 of them down, and you can go talk to 5 billion women, and they will all tell you they've been told the same exact playbook, because a guy thinks like that. Guys are that silly when they are afraid of commitment or they don't want companionship, the 2 C's.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't want those 2, they must say things in reverse. Every guy knows it. If any guy's watching this and wants to be honest right now, they will tell you it's the truth. It's actually the truth. We will do things in reverse. It's all you ladies have to remember. Listen, guys will do stuff in reverse. It's not what he first says out of his mouth unless he's angry. If he says it out of his mouth and he's angry, he's probably telling you the truth. But if he's just telling you, you know what, we got to stop seeing each other. You know, we have to break up. He's telling you, I got to get out of here. That's all you have to remember. He's saying, I got to quit this job. And then he starts to tell you why he's got to quit the job. And the last thing he says is really the first thing that he really feels, which is, you're really better than me. And he just doesn't want to say it. Because if he says it, he knows for the rest of his life, he will always remember every time he sees your picture, every time he sees you, man, I just wasn't good enough for her. He doesn't want to say that. His ego will not let him say that unless he loves you. If he loves you, he will tell you, no, babe, you just, no matter where I turn, everything about you makes me better. That's why he will say that in essence, he's telling you, you're better than me in this area or that area. And when he can say that to you, you better not let him go. You better not let him, because that's the most vulnerable a man can be when he's forget crying. When he tells you, you make me better, oh my. And guys definitely over 50 or mature men that are younger, and they can say that to you, they're not lying. And you will know if they're lying, because if they're arguing with you all the time, he's lying. But if he doesn't want to argue with you, he wants to get you your slippers. he wants to get you. There's something you got, and it has nothing to do with physical. it's companionship that you're bringing to the table. If you are what Susan mentioned earlier, go work on yourself, your communication skills, different things, travel, do things like that. And then you meet a man and he's sitting there going like, okay, you've been to 5 countries and I've just been to the corner store. He's going to want to be with you because you can teach him stuff, unless he's a narcissist and toxic. I'm sorry, Susan. I did it again. I was supposed to take a look back.
This is your show too. I mean, do you think if
Go
I
ahead.
had a show,
You're
I
gonna
would be talking?
You're gonna,
When I have an interview show, I'll be talking.
go ahead. You were going to say.
No, I think it's important to hear the man's point of view. I've had people say this to me, and it's a fairly honest admission of one of two things. You're being a little more gracious than I would.
Yes, I am. It's a family show.
It either means I know I'm not willing to cultivate this relationship, and
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate because you really are a nice lady.
Yep.
And you're really kind of a nice person, and you really you deserve somebody who will love you. I'm not willing to do it.
Yep.
I'm not interested.
Right.
I'm not willing. I'm looking for something different. Now's not the time. I don't want to hurt you. I want you to know that I see your value, but I'm not into it. That's a polite way of doing it.
That was very diplomatic. I love the way you said that.
Right. And then there are the men who actually do feel very strongly for you, who may be intimidated, who are retracting because, like you said, they really do realize that you're worth it, and they can't imagine why you would want them.
That is, that's the whole, yes, that is true. That does happen, ladies.
You've got everything.
It happens.
Half your age. I don't have an adequate job. You've been all over the world. I have.
You got your own place. You have your own car. He doesn't see where he fits in because he doesn't see what he actually has that you appreciate.
How can I
be
tangible
knight in stuff.
Shining armor?
Yes, he needs to put the sword down. Yeah, and the woman's trying to tell him, put the sword down, put the armor down. I've got my own castle. I got my own drawbridge. I just want to be with you. And he doesn't see it that way because he's got
to find a place.
Our society has made him feel
women
his role, his place. Yes,
a man has to find a place.
He has to have a role. He will go crazy. He will, if it's not money related or other things, he starts to think, well, what good am I? And the woman may go like, you're a great companion. And he's going like, yeah, whatever. He goes, no, she's going like, no, that's what I really want is a companion. Somebody, like we're old together, whatever. And he's going like, well, okay, that's good, but what else can I do? She's going like, what you're doing right now. It will go back and forth in a circular conversation because he has never been trained to see that a real man does 3 fundamental things, and it's based upon what he can do. A man provides, protects, and guides. That's it. And if he's never had a father teach him that or a mentor, that's why you get guys who come out of different neighborhoods or whatever the case may be, in a poor neighborhood, and they go get on a sports team because there are other men there that will show them. You protect, provide, and guide. And once that kid gets that, oh my goodness. And he wraps that in what I call bacon, which is self-control. He wraps some self-control around those 3 things, then he's locked in. It doesn't mean he won't make mistakes and he won't falter. It doesn't mean that he won't be a person who will disappoint. He will be all of those because he's human. But he will always rebound and bounce back. And he will be loyal to whoever allows him or pushes his buttons to protect, provide, and guide.
That's beautiful.
And that's a man. Every day a man wakes up, and a lot of women don't know it because a lot of men have not had their father around or other things. Or you can always tell when a man doesn't understand that because he's domineering. He has no need to hear a syllable come out of a woman's mouth. He doesn't. What could a woman possibly tell him? Because in his mind, he's overly arrogant for a reason. Because that's how I get things done. And a woman doesn't want to be with anybody like that unless she's that way. But there you go, Wild Zeppelin. Wild Zeppelin, that's what it is.
That's a great explanation.
I'm telling you right now, I didn't come up with it. My dad told me and my grandfather told him, this is how it goes. You only got one job. And when your woman tells you that she needs children, you go crank those up. Other than that, you go to work and she will take care of you. She will be, because the woman has an amazing opportunity to help, support, and cooperate. other than that, she go do whatever she want to go do. She go do whatever she want to go do because she's always going to come back home. Unless she's a woman of the streets, that's different. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother show. But other than that, the woman she gets to be curious. She's multidimensional. She gets to get into whatever she wants to get into that works in harmony with what the man is trying to achieve for the family, which is to build. And you get two builders together, hey, the neighborhood's in trouble. Because if that family's building and that one's building and everybody's working together, you got something to work with. But right now, we're living in these critical times where people essentially, what do they want a relationship for? The guy he don't think he can learn nothing from a woman. And the woman doesn't think she needs a man because the man doesn't know he's supposed to protect, provide, and guide, not be domineering. And she doesn't have a brain.
Most of us just want to lean back. At some point, we're so tired of being a man. But we would need to lean back on a guy that we know has got it. It's not like, oh my God, am I going to have to tell him how to handle this?
That's becoming the common theme.
Yeah.
I worry for my daughters many times because I'm looking at guys and going like, okay, they got everything else on the appearance, but they don't finish anything. A woman wants stuff to be finished. Okay. Guys will do projects, but won't finish them. That's bad. Yeah. That's not good. That's bad relationship stuff. But a woman, look, you start here, you finish here. Watch how many women start something and go and finish it. They don't play around. A meal, if a guy wanted to eat, what if she started the meal and then all of a sudden get midstream and go like, I'm really tired. I'm just going to go sit down. He's going to go like, hey, where's my, a woman says, if you're going to start something with me, you better finish it. Unless she doesn't know what she wants, and then you're going to have, that's a whole nother show. But overall, a man's supposed to finish stuff. He's supposed to, because men get, halfway through, we get lost. Squirrel, it's like.
It's great.
And so when you can finish something as a man, you open the door to provide, protect, and guide. What does that mean? That means that you
accountability, right?
Yeah, and you value her opinion. Yeah. You allow her to trust you. But if you don't have anything to bring to the table and all you do is trying to flex your muscles and open your chest and do silly stuff, but all right, now I'm getting on my dad's soapbox. What you guys tell you? What'd you say? Wild Zeppelin says, "Oh man, I think you just answered about me." Oh, that's a guy. Oh, I am my own provider and all that. And perhaps I look like to a man that he doesn't have room in my life. Oh, Susan, that's what you were just talking about.
Well, I gave one boyfriend driving in the snow. He wanted a category, and I realized I had every one, and he protested. He was so great. He was such a great communicator. We were going to go pick up my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, no, I grew up in Minnesota. I know how to drive. And he said, Susan, can you just give me driving in the snow?
I'm sorry. I would have told you the same thing. I'm like, babe, okay, let me just tell you. You can build a skyscraper. You can do. Just let me have this one. Just let me have this one. And when I crash, wait, and then I would have told you, just listen, when I crash the car, babe, don't bring it up after. We'll make a joke of it later on. But right now, just let me have this one and say I told you so 3 months later. Okay?
I can't even remember if I let him drive, but I remembered it.
Men are like
just
that.
like, I think I did. And I went, oh my God. I realized what I'd done. I mean, this was a number of years ago, but I was like, oh my God, because he was younger. And I had all the categories, and I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it was so enlightening. And it was such a cute thing. Can you just give me driving in the snow? Like you wanted one thing. You got everything.
But it's two ways. It's two ways also, Susan. A guy could do the same to a woman. Yes. He may be so self-contained. He may have been, ironing his clothes at the age of 2. And building Lego skyscrapers at the age of 3. And now he gets a woman and goes like, well, okay, I can do my own clothes. I take my stuff to the cleaners. I do, I can make my own meals. And she's sitting there going like, okay, well, you don't need anybody then. He's going like, no, I really want to have a relationship. She's going like, what do I do when we're together?
This is why it's great if
I'm not a pet.
Hobbies or things to build together, some other thing, because we don't have traditional roles per se anymore. And this way we can be a little bit more fluid in how we express ourselves and what we bring to the table. And you can have a great teammate that way. Yeah,
you said it in such a beautiful way, a great teammate. How do we end this show? Well, we're just going to have to say goodbye to everybody.
We have to tell them about next week.
We do.
Know.
Well, this is the thing about next week. I am planning something next week that I haven't even mentioned to Susan. So all we know is we're going to be together, and I'm building this amazing anticipation because
Okay.
I'm doing a number of things over the next few days. And everyone, please pay attention to Susan's YouTube channel, her page, website, as well as ours here at Narc Abuse TV Network, because hopefully by Monday, 5 p.m. California time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. But wait, are you in Arizona now or no?
I'll be here for another
Okay,
week
okay, all right, you'll be here another week. Okay, so
in New York.
Eastern Standard Time, you will get some more information because we're looking to do something, but we just got to check a few boxes to see if it can be done because I'm looking to think big. So we'll see as to how big. So other than that, we are looking to do a show for you next Saturday, same time, same bat
3 p.m.
channel,
Yep.
3 p.m.
Same
all the way
channel.
12 and 3, same bat channel. If anybody ever even remember that show. There's some stuff happening on the screen. I'll get to that in just a second, everybody. But Susan, tons of questions still left for you here, there. I'm going to put all of them together. Anything that we did not get to, everybody, we will get to. But Susan,
Yes.
here we go.
Sounds very
What
serious.
about
Okay.
what about the thing Susan promised to say in the last live? I have no idea what Susan promised in the last one because I don't
Neither
remember her
does
promise.
Susan.
I was going to
Neither
say,
does Susan.
I love you,
Oh.
Izzy, but I'm sorry. I don't. I know I promised to say what I just mentioned, the three things that if a woman taps into on a man, she can end up keeping him for life. Everybody's talking about men finishing stuff now. It is the truth. If you can get a man to finish projects around the house, you've probably tapped into how can I put it? You massage his ability to provide, protect, and guide, and continue to do that. Steve Harvey talks about that in his book. That may be the case, but my dad talked about it before I was born because I had brothers. So all I know is before Steve Harvey talked about it, my dad talked about it, and my grandfather
Wow.
from Arkansas. But what I am going to say is, Susan, you and I will get together. I see everybody. I see what you're writing, everyone, and I appreciate it. I just want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out that they want to say to you. Okay, that's good. And Susan, I need to ask you two things that I cannot let the show go without that were sent in. And
Okay,
I gave
Paxton.
them my word before
Okay.
we are an hour and 44 minutes, and hopefully
Okay.
when I go to send this to Instagram, they don't give me a hard time because they can't tell me it's too long. Here we go. How to have self-love and self-acceptance before or after getting discarded and leaving a relationship. How can a person have or develop or show that they have self-love and self-acceptance even though they were rejected? I'm kind of putting like 8 different questions together
Okay.
into one statement.
Okay. So it helps if you had a little bit of self-esteem and self-confidence previously. And then you got knocked off your center by a rough relationship where that's the dirty mirror. That's a Susanism that no matter how wonderful we are, if we're looking into somebody who's distorted and limited in themselves and they don't see our beauty and they're always critical and nasty because that's their reality, then time with that will erode our confidence because, again, going back to the beginning of the show, it's that negative verbal input. Sometimes having a negative experience is a springboard for you to want to get it.
Wow.
Like you see
Okay.
those TV shows where the person has a breakup and they get fat and they're out of shape and then they decide to
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be, then you
Yeah.
get it back. Sometimes it's just you will have relationships that will carve things into your soul. And what we want to do is utilize every bit of information we get in this life to be aware and attuned to it, to try to extract the gold in the garbage. What was it you need to learn? Why this person? Why did you intersect with them? What's the takeaway? Do you need to love yourself more? Did they come to teach you a very hard lesson? Let's learn it so we don't have to repeat it, right?
Got
If
it.
they didn't love you, then you've got to dig down and say, if they didn't think you were worthy, you've got to spend time then like, okay, this is my challenge. They have just illuminated in me where a weak spot is, and I am going to get on this. I'm going to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm okay. We did that last time, right? I'm
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yes,
I'm
we did.
fabulous.
Yep.
We
Yep.
did that like,
Yep.
I asked my mother once how she got my father. I
Oh
actually
my
think
goodness.
I think I said, how the hell did you get a man like my father? And I meant it. He was
Ouch.
amazing. Now,
How,
there was that long history there.
okay.
So, and she said, she snapped her head back and she said to me, I wasn't the best, but I wasn't the worst. And I thought, damn, there you
Wow.
go. Yep. Pat
That's one way
Winter
to look at
had
that.
it going on. She said, I
Wow.
wasn't the best, but I wasn't the worst.
She worked it. She knew
She
how to make sure
worked
she
it.
stood out and she
Oh,
kept him.
honey, she worked it. She was phenomenal. Yeah.
So that's where you get it from, being phenomenal.
I
No?
I strive.
Or
My struggle was to
organic.
be her. No, my struggle was to be her complete opposite. If you see
Really?
any confidence at all, it's the overriding intention is to express and give and get all of this out of me, this stuff that I've been thinking about and accruing my whole life,
Right.
and hopefully
Yeah.
have it be helpful. It's
Yeah.
more when you get more about the task, you kind of forget about yourself. You really do.
Yes.
That's the
That's true.
thing.
No, that's true. That is absolutely correct. Do you find yourself going down that path that you're talking and then you may catch yourself and you're not necessarily talking the task or the question anymore, but you're sharing your heartfelt life experience in a way that it helps other people?
I hope. I mean, I
Yeah,
use
you
my
do.
own reference points because I know them pretty well
Yes,
because I've lived them,
yes,
right?
right.
Other times I could tell stories about people, but yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
listen, self-love is a long process. I mean, there are people that grew up in homes and mommy and daddy are fabulous and they love them and their environment was loving and they just come out of the box like, I'm wonderful. I know they exist. I had some wonderful experiences and some horrific experiences. So I know both ends of the spectrum and have tried to
yeah.
bounce my way towards someplace in the middle.
Hmm.
It's been a life, it's what is the Oscar Wilde thing? It's like a lifelong journey, right?
Yeah.
It is
Hmm.
one of the great love affairs. And I think we erroneously think that self-love and confidence is the bluster that we see and it's not. I bought it. I call this my Minnesota thing. Growing up in the Midwest, but when somebody would say I do something or I'm this or I'm that, I just I just assume they're telling me the truth. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you're famous.
Right.
Oh, you're
I
rich.
understand.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
successful. I mean, so terrible that
Yeah.
I'm that
Yeah.
naive. But I just thought,
Yeah.
why would
I
they say it if
understand.
it's not true, right?
Yeah. Right. That's what I
So
would think.
then,
Yeah.
and I recently had an involvement with this woman that came with a friend, and it was like, I'm rich and I'm this and I'm that and I'm all this. And I was feeling so horribly uncomfortable. And then I went, oh, wow, it's not my discomfort, it's her discomfort, if
For
you have
sure.
to.
Yeah.
So I think, I think we are all in a process of figuring out what that is for us. Not bluster, that's not confidence,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
ego, not super humility to the point where we never toot our own horn or know our worth, but someplace in the middle. And we're all on that journey, right?
You continue to make me smile when I hear you speak because for me, my imagination is constantly going. It's as if I see your words as thread, and
Oh,
you just like a needle. You just carry them through. You speak literally in that way. Just try it. Watch this back or anything you do, and I literally can move my hand like that when you're speaking, and that's what made me think of SEW. You're
oh, that's
literally
beautiful.
you're sowing seeds of information and experience into people who don't have that information or experience.
Well, they don't
And
tell us a whole
you're
lot in
amazing.
life. Have you noticed?
No,
You're
no,
born, they
no,
kind
no,
of throw you in here, you're crying,
no,
you got a family,
no.
maybe you didn't pick them.
Uh,
You didn't pick
I-
your circumstances, you didn't pick your color, your nationality, where you're going to live, nothing. And then they tell you,
I-
hey, go for it. And you're like,
Go make
what?
it work.
What?
Go
Go
make it
make it
work.
work.
Hey,
And
I
maybe
knew.
you're given a set of instructions,
Yeah,
religious or family, and half of it you don't agree with. probably, but you don't know that you shouldn't. I mean, it's just, but for us to find ourselves in this is an enormous journey, and we got to cut ourselves some slack. It's not like we got a handbook, but the good news is we all have it in here. We do. So when we start to kind of trust ourselves, and I love that because somebody in the beginning talked about trusting themselves. And I think it was the guy with the most, that really eloquent speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we start to trust ourselves, we will realize that nature has encoded the truth within us. You will know it because there's no resistance. You hear the words and it feels right. You'll hear somebody speak and you know the difference between intellectual understanding and they lift it, right? You'll know.
Yeah.
And if you have no resistance when you hear something, it could mean that it's a truth for you. And so go examine that. But self-love, oh hell, I'm aging. I mean, you know, I like the way I looked 20 years ago. Love
be
the
nice.
way I looked 20 years ago. Yeah.
Be nice. Be nice. No, as you say, be nice to yourself now, and be nice. Be nice to all of us now that are able to have AARP cards.
Yes.
So I'm just
it's
gonna
another Hershey's Kiss moment where I look at myself
Hershey's
at another.
Kiss moment.
But
Oh
you know,
my.
it's another day
Okay.
in my life where I look at myself and
White
say,
chocolate.
"This is my reality. How can I be the best version that I am given this situation?" Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, that alone, those words are able to be sewn on someone's heart. Ladies, if you're looking in a mirror and you look at yourself and think that you look like a Hershey's Kiss with your shape, or you think that it's some other shape and it's not what you expected or let alone wondered where it came from, just remember the words that she just highlighted to you now. Susan, my dear friend, you said it in such a beautiful way. And I'm not going to tell you what those words are because you need to watch the whole show back over again. And so you'll get it. But I need everyone to go to Susan's YouTube channel. Listen, everybody, subscribe. Okay. It's not going to kill you to subscribe. But more importantly, somebody said it earlier. I'm just not going to scroll back to it. They said that from your YouTube channel, you've helped them to be able to cope, grow, and learn. So many people watch these shows on Narc Abuse TV network, and they are from foster homes, children of divorce, children of alcoholics, and a number of things that they have written me and talked to them, and they appreciate the shows because they've never had someone in their corner to explain certain aspects of life. One thing is for sure, no matter what you go through, you can find someone on this channel to be able to talk to. But when it comes to relationships, you don't have to feel like you're left in the dark. Susan will always be able to be accessible to you. You may not agree with everything that I may say or Susan may say, but one thing is for sure, you're going to agree with this. You're not out there on your own. You can find some source of encouragement to help you make it through. Somebody made gravity, and we never have to worry about it falling short, and we can stay stable. You can be sure that Susan will help you stay stable. You just have to tell her the whole story. Don't break up the story and leave stuff out, okay? Be honest and transparent, and don't try to get an answer so she can make you feel good. Tell her the truth, and she will help you grow when you watch her videos and her show. You're getting so much love on the screen as well.
My
Susan's amazing. Audiobook.
I did some hearts, and then I never see anything after that. So.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, do you have an audiobook as well? Somebody's mentioning this.
I do, Breakup Triage.
Okay,
I do. It's only 33 minutes. It's free on Audible.
Okay.
It's like $2 or something on Amazon. Okay. But if you're going through the first part of a heartache, oh my God, in a breakup, it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's on the screen here. Somebody's highlighting to make sure to highlight. Susan is the best. Abby's doing that. Thank you, Abby, again for being here. Jessica says, you look stunning, Susan. Just want to throw that out to you. Jessica Nordwin, thank you both so much for being so generous with your time. I just want to tell you the best 30 minutes she was able to enjoy from 88K. I'm just going to keep calling you that. Susan, everyone wants to know a little something about you. That's what I got. This is the last thing.
Okay.
People were asking me different things that love. Wait, these are people that follow you and watch you and so forth. They just never got a chance to actually talk to you. And so now I'm calling the show quits. We're going to talk next week, everybody. So let's do this. I'm going to ask you this before we go. Thank you so much. I got so much knowledge from this and a heart. That's from Lizzie 805. Susan is so special. Thank you, Susan. I wanted to throw all of those in real quick before I say this to you. I never go to Susan Winter YouTube channel and want to turn off a video like I do any other channel. In other words, they want to just keep watching it. They binge watch you, essentially, is what they're saying. Just want to tell you that.
Okay. Out of that. That's so wonderful.
No, hey, they just put you on play. And, hey, look, if you're doing that, I know a lot of people do that with our small show. But if you go to Susan, just put the headphones in, guys. And if you're not watching the video, just put the headphones on and go ahead and do your workout. Just, do your gardening or whatever. Okay, here we go. Question. You get to know you a little bit better. Here we go. Susan, there are moments that you've had in your life where you looked at yourself in a mirror and you said, oh my goodness, I look really, really good. Okay, or I'll just use the ghetto term, I look hot.
Yeah.
Okay. So you looked in a mirror and you said that.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to say over the past 3 years, how many times did that happen to you? Never saw it coming. She never saw it coming, you guys.
No,
I got her.
I don't have it. I wish I could say, I did it hundreds of times. I love myself.
Okay. You will never hear this question anywhere else on any other show, ABC, BBC, any other show that she goes all over the world. This woman goes and talks to people. I'm the only one that asked her that question. In 3 years, how many times did you look at your...
3 years. Okay.
In the past 36 months. In 36 months, how many times did you look at yourself overall? I'm buying you time by keep throwing the question out there. How many times did you look at yourself and went like, man?
I've rarely done that in my whole life. I just got to be honest with you.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to break any. But there are times that I look and I hate getting dressed. Anybody that knows me knows this. And then my girlfriends take me shopping and force me into clothes in the 21st century. So I wear sheath dresses and pumps and stuff like that. It's very 20th century business. So they put me in the 21st century. I haven't done that because I don't think like that. But I do know that there are certain times that I look at the whole thing and I go, okay, that's not bad. So I think that's what I say. This works. Okay, this will work.
All right. So now,
did I disappoint you? I'm telling you the truth.
No. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't get disappointed. Not with you for sure, but no. I just want to say this to everyone that has just heard her say that. I want you to right now type in, each one of you that can do it as quickly as you can before we unplug this sucker here at 1 hour and 59 minutes. And I hope Instagram will allow me to post this. Listen, type in that you think that she's beautiful right now. Type it in right now. Just have at it. Just come on. Just even if you put the letter B in and with a heart, put the letter B in a heart if you think she's beautiful right now. Okay, everybody, just do that for me. Oh, here we go, Susan. Oh man, you guys are awesome.
I just don't think
you guys are awesome.
I ever did.
No, you don't have to. They're doing it for you right now. This will make up for this. Oh, good. It took a big jump. Look at that. So this is really cool. Okay, so right now, oh my goodness. Listen, my friend, they are letting you know that you don't have to look in the mirror. The world sees that you're beautiful.
They're seeing
this. And they are letting you know. I mean? Yeah, well,
they're
Susan,
the intention, I think, and that's what's so fabulous.
They totally forget. Listen, my screen is jumping. Okay, it's here and then it jumps. Here and then it jumps. Everybody, do me a huge favor because I get to save the shows. I'm going to be able to put this together and send it to Susan because Susan, you are beautiful as Ann Crosby. Wait, Ann Crosby. I'm reading what she says. Susan, you are beautiful inside and out, and she's giving you six hearts. Hillary says yes. Red carpet, essentially, is what Miriam says. Abby says beautiful. Hillary says beautiful inside and out as well. Of course, Tim from Roots of Empathy. She's magnificent. Yep, she's beautiful according to Lizzie 805. She is beyond beautiful according to Amat and others here. You're beautiful, Susan. So many hearts, Susan. You are gorgeous. Susan looks stunning inside and out. If you can, everyone, please remember, next week we're going to be back. I want to tell you you're beautiful and jump on this beautiful appreciation train towards you,
thank you.
because you have essentially had an open session discussion with everyone and did not charge us a penny. So I want you to know I am honored that you give up your time to be here. But they're still going, by the way. They're still typing. So I just want you to know she's she's a beauty and a healer, is what Hillary says about you. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate everyone and all the hearts going across the screen. I just wanted you to know that you were appreciated beyond what others may appreciate you. We appreciate you so much here at Narcabuse TV. And I learned so much from you each time. Thank you
Paxton,
for today.
You're so comfortable. I'm so comfortable with you. Now, that's your gift. I'm super comfortable with you.
Thank you very much.
It makes it fun. And then we have lovely people, you know. So, I mean, the whole experience is wonderful.
What are we going to do next week? Everybody has to come and find out, because I do have some things that I will not tell Susan about, but we're going to, yes, we want to go big and we want to have some fun. So everybody, next week, look forward to seeing you. Right now, Susan, enjoy the rest of your evening there on the East Coast. We'll see you. Thank you, my friend.
All you lovely people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great job, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.